Alright, then. Test, test, test. Good, good, good. Close that. Alright. So. Let me make sure my title is right too. Okay. Hello, Fruit Ninja. This is Banner Saga. Basically, I just tweeted that I am starting the stream, and I'm eating right now too, so 10 to 15 minutes before I start the GCWC analysis. And I saw on Twitter that, like, it's like 5 hours before today's matches start, but that's a separate thing. 7, do I want to just kill this guy off? No, he can live. Okay. Seven, another 6, 13. Take him down to 4. This guy have? Okay. Could hit him for like 9. But I might as well just let him summon a guy. Just get more. Yeah, yesterday was a bit later because I had scrims, but generally, if I don't have scrims or anything else, I'll try to start the stream between 7 and 7:30 PM EST. You can always watch the VODs if you're not here for it live. I pretty much have very little actual Twitch chat activity going on while I'm doing the analysis, so you don't really miss out on anything if you watched it later. Do I think the Roll20 roster from BlizzCon would have done better at GCWC? Yeah. Because honestly, the performance against SPT was just awful. They should not lose to that team. So assuming nothing like went horribly wrong between individual players on the team, then yeah. Mostly just watch the VODs, yeah. Okay. So he's gonna back off and go summon a thing, and that is fine. This is a way easier fight. It is only a single phase fight. It's not a double phase fight. Like if I got into a fist fight with Goku, yeah, sure. Sure, something like that, basically. I already killed one enemy, so just counting the enemies. 3, 4, 9 enemies, yeah. Even when I go, because there's a training mode while you're in, where you can just practice fights, and even when I go into training fights, they're easier than this fight. I end up going against 11 enemies in training fights, and this is only 9, and their stats are awful. Because all of my guys, their maximum strength is 11, and every single one of my characters, except for this archer, has more than 11 armor, so they have to start by breaking my armor, and they can't break it very well at all. Okay, who's going next? This guy, and then this guy, and that guy's already dead. Where is this guy even going? Okay. I'm actually gonna put my Twitter below the stream right now. Go. Leave this guy alive, but I'll break the rest of his armor. Maybe I should have actually killed this guy, he has better stats. Oh well, it's fine that he's alive. This is also only a single phase fight. I'm gonna just kill this guy off actually. I should have just done it earlier, but it's fine. I have no idea how good teams are going to be going into 2018. before the result of this tournament, I would have expected Roll20 would be number 1, but no, I'm not sure about that anymore either. Fight's almost done. Just need to finish cleaning up all of the remaining enemies. Bring them all really low, and then you can't fight back anymore. I mean, NA is just also a pretty weak region overall, internationally. That's obnoxious. Just got in the way of my guy who was going to go hit this guy. Actually, it doesn't matter. This is Banner Saga. The Banner Saga, whatever it would be called specifically. Turn-based tactics game slash, like, resource management or whatever game type of thing. I don't know how to describe it exactly. But basically, you have your guys, they have their guys. Strength and armor. Armor's damage reduction, strength is how much damage you can do. And this battle's basically done, so you'll be going into GCWC analysis right after. Just need to left click on all of the enemies. Yeah, kind of like Fire Emblem. Similar idea. Alright, cool. Pull up the VODs now. Okay. This. Okay, this, and oops, need to actually go to the VOD. Aw, 2 pieces. It's annoying. Alright, so should be pretty easy for Dignitas and Fnatic to win these matches, but I said the same thing about Roll20 against SPT for yesterday, and that didn't happen, so.
Bring the mega death.
Okay, so Greymane's still up. The Haka might be a pick for global. Arthas, Lucio, Genji. Genji's still up too, so it could be like Genji Lucio, it could be Genji Greymane, Greymane Lucio, something like that. Probably not going to pick Arthas with the other priority heroes being up. Tacitor is also still up, but with Tracer banned, he's a lot less of a priority. Okay, Lucio to Haka. So, another hero that's also up is Tyrael. So Dignitas can go, they could go Arthas, and that would allow ETC to go stage dive and match the Dahaka global. They could go Genji, Tyrael, or Greymane as well. I think on this map Leeming is a lot less likely. Unless they're planning to ban something other than Arthas. Maybe they don't want to match up against Arthas. That is an Arthas. Arthas is weak against Lucio and strong with Lucio too, so. What are the big meta differences from BlizzCon? Yeah, Arthas is a big one. Tyrael is a big one. Also the Muradin, him not having jump stun made him a lot weaker. During BlizzCon, he was the best hero in the game with jump stun, or at least the best tank in the game, and now he is below ETC and on a similar level as Arthas and somewhat Anub'arak. Okay, so Dignitas is going to ban Genji here. That way they don't need to worry about Tyrael either too much. But this does leave up Leeming for CE. Roll20 still in the tournament? No, they lost to SPT yesterday. Teams gave up on Junkrat. Yeah, I think it was a lot of experimentation during the group stage. It wasn't 100% serious picks, trying to figure out if Junkrat was actually viable or not. And overall, he was just too... His Riptire is insanely strong in team fights, but outside of that, his team fight impact is really low. 4 hours, actually, yeah. So, probably going to lose all of... Wow, that's really surprising that CE banned Genji. Because Dignitas were 100% going to ban it themselves, I think. And CE could easily have just taken Genji Tyrael and then gotten a Li Ming last pick. Or just go Genji Li Ming and last pick Tyrael, and that would have been a really good draft. But I guess the expectation is for... I don't know, that Genji ban is so weird. Because I feel like if you just have Lucio, Dahaka, Genji, Li Ming, Tyrael, your comp's insane. And I feel like you can't lose a team fight. At that point, you just will win every single team fight. You have Li Ming to interrupt Mosh Pit. I don't know. That just seems like a really weird ban. I mean, I guess they were planning to go into some kind of Garrosh strategy, but then Dignitas just banned it, so... I don't know. So now they just go Vala Oriole. And then they're gonna last pick probably Muradin. But I don't know why they banned out their own Genji pick. And this also leaves Li Ming up for Dignitas, and now they're gonna have Li Ming Greymane together, which is just a ridiculous amount of burst potential off of CC. Really good camp control with both of those heroes. Gonna have good wave clear, can leave either of one of them in the middle lane to stay by themselves if you opt to do that kind of a laning setup, and they go Stukov. I think it's most likely Li Ming. It could maybe be Gul'dan because there's no cleanse, maybe be Chromie, but I don't know if either of those picks are better than Li Ming. Okay, it's Chromie. It's similar to Li Ming, bursting off of CC from the tank. Stukov also has really good CC if his W lands. 70% slow, put them in a silence, they can't do anything. And then the Root at level 13. And then Chromie over Li Ming. She has more effective poke, longer range poke, so that you have a better chance of poking out the enemy team when they have Oriole Lucio. You don't need any interrupt from Wave of Force, other than the Hawkatung would be the only thing. And then the slowing field is also really strong against CE's comp. None of their heroes can deal with the slowing field. So there was a Joanna. We saw Joanna yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, and she just looked pretty mediocre. No, it was yesterday. She just looked mediocre. Like, she could use her D to not get focused, but then a lot of the CC in the game, like ETC slide, if he walks up to you and gets close to you, you can't react to his slide with your unstoppable as Joanna if he's too close range. It's just too quick. No, there's no wind up or anything. There's no cast animation. It just insta stuns you. So when you get into a situation like that as Joanna, or against an Arthas, he doesn't need to commit his root because he can just walk up to you and start slowing you with his E. And then if you get into either of those situations as Joanna, you just have to use your unstoppable, and then they haven't committed any cooldowns to you. So then you have your 4 seconds of being unstoppable, and then as soon as that drops off, you're so vulnerable. You have no more mobility, no more escapes, your tankiness is super low without that massive shield from your D, and you just get destroyed. And I feel like that's what's going to happen here, to be honest, is there's going to be a Chromie sitting back and poking, there's going to be a Greymane sitting back and throwing Qs, and then as soon as any of the front line of CE walks in, they're going to get Dahaka Bro forced, they're going to get Joanna deforced, and then they're going to get CC'd and insta-killed. They don't have a global advantage because Dignitas is probably going to go stage dive. There's like way too many interrupts for a mosh pit this game. CE isn't going to be able to do camps faster because Greymane is going to do them as fast as Vala. They don't really have... I guess Joe's going to be the hero they send to the middle lane, which is okay. But I just don't see any advantage in this draft for CE. I don't see any win condition for them. Because Arthas is going to be unkillable in every single team fight. ETC is going to be really hard to focus down with his infinite knockbacks. And Stukov is going to out-sustain through all of the Vala damage by herself. There's no other damage other than Vala. And it's going to be really easy as soon as the tanks of CE's defensive cooldowns are down, that they're just going to get one shot. It's going to be really, really easy for Dignitas to do that.
The battle begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the battle begin.
Chromie actually got tongued. Oh, that's not good. How did that even happen? So she's just sitting here, he casts Q, and Dahaka just runs at her and tongues. Okay. I mean, just not good positioning. Shouldn't Dig be facing SPT in terms of seeding? No, it's just how the brackets were laid out. But even with that kill, looks like CE isn't going to get anything. Dignitas had already cleared out the middle lane wave, so they couldn't push up on mid and siege the wall, and when they got to bottom it was already cleared as well. So Chromie, so there's basically just no punish for the Chromie death. And now we're going to just see Chromie poking out against Noriel, and it's going to be tough to really do anything about that. She got level 2 now, so she has the auto attack range and the crit, and she's just gonna right click on Vala, and Vala can't hit her back. Looks like it's kind of 1-2-2 for both teams. Greymane ETC is gonna win against Joanna Lucio, unless Greymane gets poked out significantly, and Chromie and Stukov are gonna win against Vala Oriel. And Arthas wins against Dahaka, so it's just losing lanes everywhere for CE. ETC is even a bit freed up from the middle lane to roam around a bit. And CE has not even started their camp yet. Are they planning to invade with their global? I mean, they're just too late. Where's the Dahaka dig? Did it get interrupted? Like, if you want to invade that, first of all, you need your tank there and leave, just sack the mid soak or leave a support there. And that's just, I mean, CE could have invaded that if they got the Dahaka dig off. I think it got interrupted by an Arthas root or something, but looks like they do, however, manage to zone out Dignitas. Dignitas probably just respecting the Dahaka dig, opting not to take any risks, just give up the early shots, but this is, they should be able to get their camp in, most of it, so yeah. So that evens up the experience from the Chromie death, maybe puts them slightly ahead. No nips, Tiger JK. So now CE is going to their own camp. But the map might actually be set up in a way for Dignitas to invade this if they stall for long enough. No, it looks like Arthas just doesn't have the wave clear, because it was close where Arthas had almost finished clearing top already, that he could have come down to mid and just invaded this camp and forced a 5v5, and Arthas would be unkillable even this early in the game. That's really nice body blocking by Arthas. Once you know that they can't fit through the space that you've given him. And this might even kill Dahaka. Like, he might actually just be dead. No, the burrow removes the Arthas E-slow, but this zones him. Dahaka lost an entire wave of soak that went into his wall, and now he's going to lose even more soak that dies to his minions. Plus he has to back. He might even need to use dig. He just used dig. Arthas knows this, he heard it. So now they know that dig is on cooldown, and there is no invade possible over here. The fuck is Chair League? I don't want to steal cookies from innocent boys and girls. Okay. Vala might not have vault here. She does not. No, she does. Okay. She used it. I still feel like she used it a little bit late. So if we go back a little bit further, was it already on cooldown or something? Oh, she used it forward. Okay, so it's on a 10-second cooldown. And Dignitas knows this, so they should be calling already to go on Vala here. But they're splitting on their focus, which means that she almost gets time to get her vault up before Greymane gets into her, but he still gets in range. Arthas had the clear advantage over Dahaka because Dahaka had it back, so Arthas cleared the wave, got down to mid, came down for the fight because CE was still trying to invade. They weren't. I don't know why CE was even playing aggressively like that. They didn't have a Dahaka dig. It was just a gigantic risk to be taking. And I don't think their comp can even win a 4v4 on the point. And with that Vala death, that's a free cap for Dignitas. They get their camp in. And they lost no soak to the Dahaka. So other than that Chromie death, and CE here trying to finish off the bottom lane wall, but they're going to sacrifice all of this mid soak if Dahaka can't get it. But if Dahaka goes to mid to get this soak, Arthas will come off from top lane. So they're sacrificing this entire lane of soak, a lot of damage on their wall to try and get the siege damage on the tower, and they haven't even gotten it. Chromie slow field plus her poke, plus ETC threatening on the flank. They lose a lot for that attempt, and now they're down by nearly an entire level. Arthas gets the entire wall top lane too. Just a pretty clear advantage for Dignitas. Joe even gets split up from her team. And that's Joanna. Once your D is down, you're just a piece of shit. I don't know. You are a anvil trying to drag itself along with its T-Rex hands or something. It's a pretty shit metaphor. Someone give me a better metaphor. But now it's a level 10 advantage. Dig can grab out this camp. They're going to get this cap for free, and they should be able to push down this fort. If Dig doesn't get this fort, I feel like they would have missed a bit of an opportunity here. Yeah, it looks like they're not even getting this cap in time. Yeah, I really dislike. I feel like Dig misplayed the map here. So we go all the way back to here. So Joe just died. So Greymane finishes off the middle lane wall. And even right here, Dig could just be doing this camp with his 3-man. Greymane staying here to push down into the mid wave. That's fine. But then these heroes are actually just sitting around. Oh, there's a camp here that they're clearing. Okay. So they're clearing this camp. And they end up getting some mid lane wall damage. Greymane doesn't even clear this wave. I just feel like... So Greymane ended up spending this entire opportunity, like hitting a wall that had no towers or something. And I really feel like Dignitas should have gotten more with Joanna dead and the level 10 advantage. Greymane could have gone up here, 2v1 the Dahaka, helped Arthas clear out this big wave, and gotten this camp. Because what we're going to see happen now is all that Dig gets out of this advantage is this camp. And Arthas isn't going to even have to sacrifice all of the soak. This is two minion waves of soak that are just gone. And this wall might even die because of all those minions going into the wall with Dahaka pushing it. Like, Dig just they had a massive advantage here, and they got nothing from it. Like, they lost more than they gained. But here we're going to see Chromie slow field in whatever choke Chromie decides to put it in, and that's suddenly going to force CE to go into the other choke, the only other choke available. And there's Joe. There's her D down. There's an Oriole stuck in Chromie slow field. There's a Vala who... How did she end up over there? What the fuck is this? This is how you play Vala from the... What? What? What the fuck? Well, I mean, if the enemy team is just going to be doing that, you can literally fucking ARAM. That's the most retarded thing I've seen a Vala do. I'm wondering, like, did Dignitas, did CE's Dahaka, like, tongue his own Vala and drag her into Dignitas' team? No, she actually just vaulted in there by herself. Just like, what? And, like, Dignitas should have gotten punished really, really hard for fucking up the way they played the map with their double 10 advantage. Because Dahaka got this entire wall, denied 2 waves of soak. He would have also been able to push in this, deny more soak to the Arthas. And then CE would have allowed Dahaka to double soak, and then eventually, once they get pushed back enough, he can dig in here, get a stall, and then just keep up that experience advantage, and they would have caught up the entire experience lead that Dignitas had. But instead, Vala literally vaults into the middle of the enemy team and kills herself. Literally committed suicide. This is a good play by CE at least. You can aggro the camp from where when it gets captured, you can pull it into one of these side areas here and make sure it doesn't go around to where the enemy team can protect it more easily. But they do get a free kill on Dahaka still. Now with that free kill on Dahaka, they also saw 3 heroes bottom lane, and those heroes are still bottom lane. They're going to just push down the middle for it. ETC actually went mosh pit, that's a bit surprising. I'm also a bit surprised that CE didn't go to defend their middle lane for it when they saw so many heroes killing their Dahaka. Vala doesn't have vault again. Like if you're playing Q build Vala, you can't just blow your vault on cooldown just to give you the second Q. That's retarded. Like, you're getting an extra 400 or 500 damage, but you're also literally killing yourself. Like, if there's an enemy team Greymane, and if you just blow your vault and he's just gonna E on you and kill you, or if there's anything else, like all of these heroes here, like, don't do that. Hold your vault, save it for when, like, they start going on you, then you can vault and get a bit more damage out or something. You don't need to, like, blow every single cooldown and keep all your abilities on cooldown constantly. That's not how it works. Like, I know the rest of all his abilities, you just press a button and you do damage. So you just want to use them for maximum DPS on cooldown. But your vault is not like that. Your vault is not one of those cooldowns. Here comes a Dahaka flank. Tong misses. Even if the Tong hits, there's no follow-up because there's a gigantic slow field. Well, there you see. There's good use of vault by Vala. She holds it for when she gets into a more troublesome situation, then she vaults away and gets a free Q out of it. Now it's on cooldown though, and now her position is fucked. I mean, it's really hard to play into an Arthas plus Chromie, just 2 big fat death zones, plus like you're the only DPS, so you need to be playing aggressively. So in this case, I mean, it's just like an impossible fight in the first place. But every other fight before this, she did not need to kill herself. I mean, it's just, you're a Vala, you're shooting into an EDC who has, like, finished this quest by now probably, an Arthas who's just gonna pop ghouls, and then a Stukov that's healing both of them for infinite healing. So, like, you literally need to be doing maximum DPS to even have a chance of killing any of these heroes, because nobody else on your team does anything. None of these heroes do anything for damage. This is the only damage hero CE has, and I mean, this is just an awful draft by them, just a really, really, really weak draft. Like, this Joanna might as well have been like a Sonya or a Leoric or something. Like, Joe does absolutely nothing here. I mean, I don't think there's any hero they can pick here to deal with this, but like, this is garbage. Vala has to literally like be auto attacking 100% of the time, and even then, with this level lead, it's not going to matter. I mean, at this point, as long as Dignitas doesn't have any spectacular throws like they did against Ballistics earlier, then they should be able to clear out this game. Finish out this game pretty easily. They're even playing safe here, not trying to escort their camp, taking a risk of a team fight, and just waiting for 16. And they might even send Greymane up here to push down this fort, though they might want him down here to just defend their own fort and look for an engage. So Dig has 2 plays here. Either Greymane goes up here, they 2v1 to Haga, take this fort, and then defend here with a slow field, or they bring Greymane down. Arthas is actually taking forever to take this camp. But yeah, Greymane, you see, this is another thing. Just the Chromie slow field, plus just random bullshit from Stukov, stopped that camp, and it was cleared before it even got close. So Greymane ended up doing nothing for this period of time when he could have gone up and helped Arthas on this camp. So just a bit of inefficiency there. Not too big of a deal this time though. And now they are sending the Greymane top, and they're still going to get the fort. So, ends up being the same play, it's just they could have finished this camp faster with Greymane's help. But these 2 caps are both free for Dignitas. All they have to do while they have these 2 heroes up here, and now we do see the issue, is that these 2 heroes just finished this fort, and if Greymane had gone and helped this camp, this would have been killed 5 to 10 seconds sooner. And at that point, you have one of these 2 heroes much closer to here. Because at this point, Dig just cannot stop this cap. This cap is just gone, with the threat of a Dahaka Dig, and all of the zoning. Why Alpha Killer over Executioner? I don't know. Executioner would just be better when you have this many ways to proc it. Like, ETC, even with the slow on his W at 13, like, you're literally gonna have a permanent uptime on Executioner. I mean, he probably just didn't look at the numbers, but at least Vala took Gloom for once. Holy shit. Holy shit. Alright, let's go over this right here. So right here, it's just chilling. You see a Chromie. You see the Chromie cast WQ. And you see her cast it literally directly back to each other. So this tells you two things. So first of all, at the pro level, Chromies have started to split up their W's and Q's. Because most players at the competitive level are good enough to know when a Chromie casts W and Q back to back, that is pretty much always going to be on the same spot. So you're a player, and you see Chromie cast WQ, and you see her cast it without any gap in between, because if you cast W and then move your mouse a bit and then Q, there will be a slightly bigger gap. But this was literally instantaneous between the two. So you see this, and you can be like 90% certain that these W and Q are on the same location. So then you look, you have vision of her with your minions, you look where her Q is going. It's going right here. So then, why do two people get hit by this? Like, this is literally the first time anyone plays Chromie, they just press WQ on the same spot. This is the most predictable, most obvious, most common Chromie, like, play that is in the game. And somehow, these people are just eating it. Lucio literally almost gets one-shot by it. And that just seems so insane to me. And I mean, that's why the top-tier Chromie players have started to split them up, because they know if they throw it on the same spot, people are just going to dodge it. People are just going to see where the Q is going, and they're just going to sidestep it. So then when you send your W in one spot and the Q in the other spot, then you're much more likely to get a hit with something. Whereas you should just not get a hit. Like, this is just ridiculous. That should just not happen. You have complete vision of the Chromie, and even if they didn't have vision from the minion wave, when Chromie casts her W, you gain vision of her. That is just a mechanic of the hero. There's no reason to have gotten hit by that. That's just ridiculous. Now Joanna's D is down, and she can no longer be a tank. Like, she actually just has to stand even further behind her team. Suddenly, Joanna has become the back line, and the front line is now nobody. She has her D back up, so she can finally walk back up again. But now, see? EDC just slides her from melee range, you can't react. Now her D is down again, she's no longer a tank. The Haka digs in, nice clock placement by Chromie. The only bush to dig in to get to the middle lane is this one right here. There are no other bushes in the area, so very, very clearly, you put a clock in this bush, he digs in here, even if he digs further back, he's probably going to walk into it. So, that just completely, like, cucks his engage. Chromie has 11% participation in China, that's really high. And I've seen the Chinese Chromies, they picked it at BlizzCon, and they were trash. They were literally walking into melee of random heroes. They were absolutely the worst Chromies I've ever seen competitive. So China has no idea how to play Chromie, and no idea how to play against Chromie, clearly. And they also took Temporal Loop, which is just a garbage ultimate. There's Vala sitting there. She did go Manticore, so she finally has enough damage output to potentially threaten the tanks. Greymane. Oh wow. Hold on a second. Let me go back real quick. Look at this. Look at how low the Vala got. Wow, I wonder how she survived that. It must have been because her Q healed her for like 100 HP or something. No. It fucking was not. It was because Gloom literally blocked like 1,000 damage right here. Without her even activating it. She activates it late. Don't play fucking Match the Pictures. It's ridiculous.
Has been lost.
So now Dig knows the only way CE can even get towards these points is through this choke. So Chromie slow field. Vala just getting hit for free by spells. Really, really great. They're right there, WQ, same spot. mean, you have to watch the Chromie, especially when she goes center damage on her W. Like, you just have to watch her, because otherwise she's gonna do that. And, like, just pay some fucking attention. They're still picking E-Quest on Gul'dan? Yeah, but at least they've finally gotten good enough at the hero to finish it before the game ends. Because the game yesterday, where Roll20 picked Gul'dan, he actually finished the quest before the game was over. Though, they should have lost that game before the quest was done. The game ended up being thrown back to them. But, I mean, pretty basic game for Dignitas. They had a way better draft. I have no idea why CE banned out the Genji pick that would have been very favorable for themselves to pick out. And then they ended up with some garbage, double tank, double support, no DPS. And then their tank can't even survive Dignitas' damage anyway, even with 2 supports behind them. It's just an awful draft. Like, can CE just not play Genji? That'd be ridiculous if they can't play Genji. But, I have no idea. %21 participation rate in Europe? Yeah, Europe really likes Chromie. Like, the participation rate for Chromie in NA is probably below 5%. Oh, wow. Okay. That's actually... Wow, okay. Really thought it was lower than that. A lot lower than that. Mostly because of map picks, I guess. Alright, so... Abathur is up. I don't know if any of these teams are confident enough to just go for Abathur Illidan on this map. And with Genji already banned, the only other good Abathur pairing would be with Greymane, so... You would expect a first pick Greymane here, most likely. Lucio and Tyrael are both much lower priority with Genji gone as well. So I think Greymane is just a clear first pick here. So now Dignitas, Arthas is up, Lucio is up, Dahaka is also up, that could be a priority. Oh, Task Tracer is also up. Forgot about that pairing. Forgot about those ones. Okay, so now Monk, for sure. Best matchup against Tracer. Lucio's not a very good matchup to Tracer. So I think Monk for sure here. And then probably Dahaka. You could also go for Arthas here. Chromie just shits on Vala in general. Like, literally, you could cast your Q backwards and then just right-click on the Vala and you would win every trade with the Vala. It's just a really good matchup. Okay. So, with this Brightwing pick, that makes me expect that CE is going to ban Dahaka and then go for a global advantage on the map. Because otherwise... I don't know. It's a weird pick. Bronze Challenge should be nerfed? Sure. But if it's nerfed, she probably will also fall out of competitive, so be aware of that. Because without Bronze Talons, she loses all of her reliable damage, she loses a significant part of her burst, like 25%, she loses a significant part of her poke. Garrosh ban? Again? Garrosh bans are pretty weird. I guess there's nothing better to ban though. Dignitas wants Dahaka for themselves. Dignitas wants Monk for themselves. Dignitas also could want Li Ming for themselves, so they don't need to want to ban any of those heroes, and there isn't really anything else to ban. They banned it last game too. make Bronze Talons proc when you hit your Q? Sure. That'd be okay, but that would also be a really significant nerf to her. So, with the Hawka banned, I don't think Dignitas will opt for Falstad in their comp, so I think they're probably going to go into a Li Ming and a Monk here, and then last pick a tank. Reducing Vala's damage 20% first? No, Vala is fine. Vala is completely fine where she is. Like, I'd prefer, instead of nerfing Vala, I'd prefer every hero that's worse than Vala to be brought up to her level. Because Vala is extremely squishy, and she has weaknesses. And then you look at a hero like Raynor, and he is just a piece of garbage. Don't turn Vala into another Raynor, turn Raynor into another Vala. Okay. Muradin, Sonya. So they leave the Monk, which I feel like is a really easy pick for CE to take. They could go for 7-sided strike with Curse Bullet. They could also still just go with Palm with the block totem. Make Bronze Talons have a cooldown? Yeah, that'd be fine too. If it had like, maybe make it have like a 10-second cooldown, and then if you hit a Q it gets reduced by 5 seconds. That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that kind of a thing. So, I mean, CE can just take Monk Li Ming here, and their comp's really good. Then they'll have the second support, so Brightwing can be more split, and they won't get poked out. They'll have the block totem, they'll have the Palm or the 7-sided strike. They'll have a ton of burst potential. Monk Li Ming seems like pretty easy pick here. And it denies the Monk from Dignitas. I don't know why Dig didn't take Monk themselves. Okay. Sure. Those are good heroes too. But now you're giving away Monk to Dig. Monk really good against Greymane and Zarya. Block Totem just cuts their damage in half. They don't need more sustain healing, with Tassadar giving Tracer lifesteal. Yeah, it's just like such an easy Monk pick. So lane setups, it's probably going to be Monk Sonya top lane 2v1ing, and then Tracer might try and go between mid and why Zarya? I don't know. She doesn't match up well against Tracer at all. Tracer goes on her, Zarya has to shield herself, and then Tracer waits for the shield to drop and then does all her damage. Zarya can never, like, doesn't even have the range to trade with a Tracer. You can't get value out of, like, your block talent at level 4. She's not going to be able to siege that effectively when all of her only sustain healing is a Brightwing. I don't know. That pick makes no sense. Yeah, Zarya does match up really well against Sonya. That's like the one good thing for this pick. But she also matches up really badly against Muradin. She's a really easy just jump stun target, and then the attack speed's slow, screws over Zarya really hard. I don't know, it just seems like not a good pick. Would have preferred to even see like a Tychus or something. Tychus would do better than Zarya here. Are they playing on current patch? Yes, the current patch that is on live servers with the support nerfs and the Rhaegar and Malfurion wave clear being removed. And the Sergeant Hammer rework, but Sergeant Hammer is banned from the tournament. Okay, so there goes 4 heroes top lane. Tassadar did see Arthas. But Dignitas might think that Arthas was just looking for some kind of a flank, but now they see heroes, and they're just going to be able to collapse up. Okay, so Zarya just gets some energy out of it. And it looks like CE's laning setup is 3-man top lane, with the Leoric in the bottom lane instead, trying to catch Dignitas off guard, but I don't think Dignitas is going to have any issues with this at all. They can pretty easily just bring Tassadar Tracer up here. They'll be able to defend really well. And Brightwing does not have the sustain to deal with Tracer constantly poking. And now Sonya is eventually going to find her way to a good matchup. how big is the effective support change on drafting priority? The only thing that's really mattered so far in the tournament is the Rhaegar nerfs, where he lost Lightning Bond and he got big nerfs to his damage output, so he can't double soak anymore, he can't do camps nearly as quickly, and he has pretty much dropped out completely in terms of priority. The only supports that have been priority at this point have been Monk and Lucio. So Dig just negating the early game strength of Zarya, negating any kind of pressure she can get. She'd get a pretty decent amount of energy off of that self shield there, but Monk is just sitting in a 1v1 against Arthas, and Sonya is beating up a Leoric. And as long as Sonya is winning against Leoric, that means the Dignitas doesn't have to worry about any DK pressure. Arthas doesn't have a big enough wave clear advantage over Monk to really be able to push him in and then rotate, or drain ammo and threaten the wall. That's a dead Brightwing. Maybe not actually, the spell shield's really nice. That Tracer recall is very not nice, she might just dead die for that. She doesn't have Blink. Yeah, that was a big mistake from Tracer. So what happened here? So they jump in, they find Brightwing really far out of position, but then Tracer kites back. She miscalculates her bomb damage. She thinks that the Brightwing will die to the bomb damage, but Brightwing had her spell shield, the E, Pixie Dust, on herself, and then Brightwing survives. So already, Tracer used a blink to here. She already had used a blink earlier to get in range after the Murden stun, and now she's going to use her third blink here. Tassadar didn't call that he could finish off the Brightwing either, and now she uses a recall, and she has no blinks. So she's just recalled in the middle of an Arthas. If she hadn't recalled and just stayed over here to the right, she could have kited around, waited for Tassadar shield cooldowns, waited for her blinks to come back off cooldown, and then as soon as CE starts committing to her, that's when she can kite back a bit and then recall back, and then kite him out like that. But instead he recalls into his death. And this is actually going to be a really big advantage for CE. Suddenly all of Dignitas' damage in this lane is gone, until Monk shows up from the middle lane, because this was an Arthas rotation, and this was also a kill for Dignitas in a 3v4. And this Monk rotation might actually save Dignitas. Or it might just end up in Murden. No. But if Monk wasn't here to rotate and collapse on this, Dignitas would have lost this wall. And they might even still lose this wall, because Tassadar now has to back. But Leoric just doesn't stand a chance in that 1v1. And there's no way for his team to help him, because they're trying to push with a 3-man with Zarya. So now they're finally rotating out. It looks like they're probably looking for mercenary camps. So they have to get the Dragonite cap first. And Sonya's gonna hold this. Not for too long though, because Greymane does too much damage. So Dragonite pressure is not there. But because Greymane had to go down there and prioritize getting the cap first and forcing the Sonya out, that means that Dignitas has a ton of time to react and swap Sonya back to top lane against Leoric, bring their Task Tracer down, and then CE doesn't get a mercenary camp out either. Now Sonya's a little bit late to get into the top lane cap, but that's also going to be dealt with. But this gives, because Dig has to commit so many heroes to the middle lane to watch for the Dragonite cap, this gives CE a tower down here. I feel like melee assassins are dead. Yeah, the bruisers are just better than them right now, probably. And the lane should just go back to the Monk vs Arthas matchup, Sonya vs Leoric, and all of that. But it looks like right now Dignitas is keeping Tassadar in the middle lane. This is a bit weird, because it makes Tracer unable to trade and pressure that effectively, and Tassadar isn't clearing fast enough to help out in the bottom lane. Thanks, Knickersby. So because of this task being mid lane, it actually gave CE the free time to just take a Siege Giant camp out. Though this is getting a lot of pressure on the middle lane wall. Dignitas is also losing a lot on their bottom lane wall. There's just no clear here for this Siege camp. One thing that is nice for Dig is that Leoric has been trying to pressure Sonya top lane and took a ton of damage, and then CE eventually brought Brightwing up to heal him, and then that is going to take the cap there. And because Task Tracer have just been sitting mid this entire time, they're gonna get the bottom lane cap, they're gonna get this bottom lane wall. And I feel like Dignitas should really have kept their Task Tracer against this lane matchup, because without Task Tracer they can't do anything to this Zarya. Might have gotten a pick on Arthas, but he should be too tanky for it. They get the Brightwing TP out of it, which is decent, but that'll be up really quickly. Good communication from Dig. They see 4 heroes from CE in the middle lane, and Monk instantly steps up bottom lane and gets the cap back, so there's no Dragon Knight pressure. Sonya's going back to beating up Leoric, though he does have his level 7 talent, which is going to help him out a bit. And even in this 3v4, kind of 3v4, Tassadar didn't even come down, but yeah, this laning setup just doesn't seem that good from Dignitas. Unless, because they never showed Dignitas' middle lane wall, so unless Monk was losing a lot in the 1v1 against Arthas, I really would have preferred just having Task Tracer Murd in here. There's the power of Arthas being super tanky and having Icebound Fortitude. And Dig is just losing a lot. It looks like they called... I don't know what Dig is doing. They're just losing a ton all over the map. That block totem went down really early too. Tassadar actually went Force Wall. It's a really good way to exploit Zarya and Arthas. Immobility. It's basically just a 2-second route on any of those heroes. Thanks for the sub, Paragon43. Okay. You can really see how vulnerable Tassadar is. He basically just can't contribute to this team fight other than with his shields. Because as soon as he steps forward to do anything, there's just a Grey Mane that goes on him. So I mean, I guess this is going as well as it could be for CE. They're getting their tri-lane to get decent value. They almost got an entire fort in the bottom lane. Yeah, I feel like CE is like using their comp well, but it's also like Zarya is like pretty strictly an early game hero. Unless there are boss points for her to control with Expulsion Zone, she doesn't do as much once it gets later on in the game. She just becomes very vulnerable. There are the Murd and stun misses, but now there's a Force Wall on Monk, but there's an Expulsion Zone, Emerald Wind. I just feel like CE's comp, now that it's gotten past the early game, and they don't have a big lead, they're just going to be... As soon as they ever try to push up on the map, they're just going to be getting picked off constantly. Dignitas actually opts to steal the siege camp out from CE, rather than rotating Sonya back to the top lane, so they're going to be under a lot of... Oh god, that is loud. A lot of Dragon Knight pressure for the moment. Nice sidestep there. And at this point, Leoric has just started double soaking and left CE to 4-man bottom lane. And to be honest, I feel like Dig should just sacrifice this fort. Because I don't... Okay. Looks like the bomb didn't even hit the Grey Mane. That was... Yeah, that bomb was on the minion. Then she got melee off, she recalled, her recall bomb hit the minion plus the Grey Mane. Minion exploded the bomb instantly. And that killed him. And it looks like... Was Brightwing's E on cooldown? Yeah, she just used it on Grey Mane, it looks like. But, I mean, this is just going to be what's going to happen to CE. Whenever Dignitas has his Tracer Bomb up, whenever they have 7-sided Strike up, they can go up, look for Force Wall, look for Murder and Stun, and then focus target down. But they do have to play around CE's Zarya shield and Brightwing's Teleport shield, and all of those cooldowns, because that will stop them from one-shotting. And that's actually just a Dragon Knight. Sonya holds top, Muradin holds bottom, and then jumps out. They do put Monk in it, but that's fine. Sonya is self-sustained, Muradin is self-sustained, Tassadar gives Tracer sustain. And that is a little bit surprising here. Zarya took this active to give her a big shield, but use all of her energy, though you do get it back when the shield, as the shield takes damage, like her normal shields, instead of the spell armor that you can take. She can get 75 spell armor, and yeah. Muradin has finished his baseline quest, so he stunned Zarya through the wall. And that's always fun. And now Emerald Wind gets interrupted, there goes another hero, and this is just going to be the rest of the game, where CE just cannot, they have no kill potential against Dignitas' heroes, and Dignitas can just go wherever they see a hero of CE, and if they have the cooldowns they can kill them. This might even be a keep, to be honest. Maybe a little bit surprised that Dignitas didn't call for Sonya to come down as soon as they got the kill on Brightwing. Looks like they're not going to try for the keep though, they're just taking the experience advantage. Not sure how many Blinks Tracer has left. Okay, she has plenty. And as soon as Dignitas gets level 20, they're going to instantly win the game. Tracer gets the instant explosion on her Pulse Bomb, Tassadar gets upgraded Force Wall, 11-sided Strike Monk, and there's going to be no way for CE to survive. So they use Expulsion Zone to win the cap. I mean, this full-on 5v5 is really tough for Dignitas to win if Sonya can't get into the fight. And she came in from the flank, but then Emerald Wind blocked her out, and then she was stuck behind them, and CE kited forward. But if there was a Sonya in the middle of CE's team just spinning on everybody, there would be no way for them to win the fight. But they effectively got a 5v4 in that team fight, and that's why they were able to win it.
The shrines awaken once more. Who will control the Dragon Knight's power?
Now also, with all of the forts down, it's going to be very easy for Dignitas to look for a pick-off on whoever is top lane, split pushing top lane for CE. Also a Merc camp advantage for Dignitas. CE only got their Knight camp out. It'd be way too risky to take a team fight in this choke point here. And wow, they actually just get a DK. CE just, they had Leoric split and they couldn't push forward. That's oh boy. CE did not plan for this Dragon Knight phase that well. When they split Leoric out, and then they didn't even have enough space on the bottom side of the map to control that cap. Dignitas just 3v4'd them. Sonya beat Leoric top, and it was just another DK. Less of a gimmick and more of an actual secondary warrior. Well, Zarya is weird, because she's kind of a warrior, but not really. She's too squishy. She's kind of a DPS, range DPS, but her range is really low. And she's kind of a support, but her shields are pretty high cooldown. So it's like, she kind of does everything, but she's not super good at everything. Like, if they made her tankier, then she'd have to do way less damage. So pretty easy games for Dignitas so far. Tracer banned. Maybe CE doesn't play Tracer. Oh.
Bring the mega death.
Okay. Okay, so Genji is still up. Last time when Genji was up, Dignitas didn't pick him. They went Lucio with Greymane. We'll see if they do that again, or if on this map they prioritize Genji higher. Okay, this time they go Lucio to Haka. Still similar idea of taking the Lucio to counteract the main strength of Genji in team fights. It was Dragon Blade. So we'll see. Does CE go Genji this time? Be like Genji Tyrael, Genji Greymane, be big picks here. Last time was in this draft situation on towers. It looks like Dig was actually first pick. Yeah, so this is actually swapped pick order, and the draft is actually completely reversed at this point too, where the team that was first picked with these bans, they first picked ETC, and the second pick went Lucio to Haka. And then what Dignitas went was Arthas Greymane. I think Arthas on this map might be a bit lower priority, but we'll see. Nope, exact same draft as it was on the Towers of Doom game. So then after that, there was a ban of Genji by the second pick team. How many hours away is next round of GCWC? Like 3 or 4 hours, I think. It's starting a lot earlier than usual. I could actually do like, what do you, let's see, how many people are here, like 80? Okay. What do you guys think? I think I'm allowed to like restream while it's live, the GCWC video while it's live. So if I just pull up their actual video, like the stream of the clean feed, and then do it live, would you guys like that? Or should I just wait until tomorrow and just keep it on the normal schedule that I've been doing? Also, if you know if I'm actually allowed to do that in the first place. So here we see deviation. If they're banning Zeratul, that means that they want to pick Tyrael, because that has been the only reason that Zeratul's been picked. Let me check on Twitter, because there was a tweet that I saw that said how long it was. Okay, so this means they're looking for Tyrael pick. And with the Tyrael pick, they're also looking for a Genji pick. So either of those two heroes being banned would be the best for CE. So it's like 3 hours from now, actually, that GCWC starts. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to rewind. I would need permission to cast. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow then. Would also, like, probably not have too many viewers, since everyone would be watching the main stream anyway. Yeah. Well, the question is if this is actually like a Twitch broadcaster's content, or if this is actually like my own content type of thing. I don't really know the rules of that. Okay, so Genji and Tyrael are both not banned. So, one big thing here is that Dignitas does not need to pick Tyrael now, because CE will not pick it, so I expect them to pick Monk with Genji, and then last pick Tyrael. Yeah, like, I feel like a tournament stream is a separate thing from, like, an actual person doing something. Because also, I think... Yeah, I think that rule also applies to, like, where it's like, if I'm literally just broadcasting this without my own commentary and analysis, then it would be an issue, but then because I have my own commentary and analysis, then it becomes my own content, effectively, I think. I don't know. There have been Twitch staff in the stream before where I've been doing this, and there have been no issues. Okay, they go Genji and Nubrak. So that's a bit surprising that they banned out Zeratul, but then aren't going into Tyrael. And it's also really surprising that they don't take Monk here. So I guess they have Lucio, so they don't want to go Monk. They want to hold for another ranged DPS. So what does CE go into? With Li Ming being banned, I don't think they want to go into double support again, though they could. I think they're for sure going Monk here. So they could go Monk with some other second support, or if they do pick another damage dealer here, let me pull a pot. Pots will ever reach the heights of WoW, Dota, LoL? Probably not. Rhaegar Uther, so they don't even take Monk. That is really surprising that you'd ever pick Rhaegar over Monk at this point. I don't know what Rhaegar does better than Monk at this point. Like, I guess he has a bit better wave clear, but him doing Mercs is about as a similar speed to Monk. His damage output is just worse. Ancestral, I guess, is like a bit better than Palm, but I feel like you would want to be going for 7-sided strike if you took Monk in this game. So maybe this is a Bloodlust, but otherwise I have no idea. Oh yeah, WoW is not an esport, so I guess that doesn't really count. But the ones that are actual, like, esports, no. So, I mean, I still feel like this is a pretty easy Monk pick for Dignitas. Or wait, no, never mind. They're not picking Monk. They're picking a ranged DPS. So what ranged DPS are they picking? Sorry. Vala. Sure, that's the ranged DPS that they're picking. They could have gone for, like, a Tychus. Would have been okay. Cassia could have been okay also. Rhaegar better heals than Monk? No. I guess he has, like, healing totem, but Monk has block totem, which is pretty similar. Does Cleanse give Rhaegar more value? I guess, yeah, Cleanse would be the main reason for it, but you already have an Uther, and Uther's gonna have Cleanse or he's gonna have Armor, so that's, like, not gonna do it. So, early game, let me actually just go back. So, Dahaka dug to site, CE 5-manned onto site, didn't see anyone other than Dahaka, and then they decided to just go 5-man top and hit a wall. But there was an Anub'arak there, and then they got spooked by the Anub'arak. Alright. I guess Dig did need the Vala pick to do Mercenaries, because they didn't have anyone to do Mercenaries before that pick. 30-minute delay could rewind then. Yeah, but also I'm not going to be staying up that late, so I think I'm just going to wait until tomorrow. Alright, so Dahaka is 1v1ing Rhaegar, Vala's mid, and then it's like a Genji Anub'arak top. Looks like Dig is happy to trade right now, and CE is not making anything proactive, doing anything proactive on the map right now. They just lose an entire tower for free. I mean, in CE's situation, they had 3 heroes up here, they need to just push. They can't just sit there and, like, rotate down after Vala's already killed an entire tower with her minion wave. So that's just a free tower for Dignitas, for basically no reason. Anub'arak will lose the 1v1 against Arthas top, but it looks like Genji's just going to go up there. So it'll be an even trade. Dahaka has his Dig back up by now, and has that advantage. Looks like they actually caught out Arthas. He might be dead here. Oh no, Uther's here. Anub'arak is the one who is dead. Jebaited. Get a counter kill with that Dahaka tongue? Okay, they do. It looks like Vala actually just killed ETC. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. Like, I guess ETC just missed his slide on the Vala, or she dodged it with her vault. And then she gets a free kill. It's not going to result in any shots being stolen, or too many. Lucio had to go down and get the bottom lane soak. But it's just more experience advantage, and it is also going to result in a much earlier camp start for Dignitas. So they're probably going to push with the siege camp. They might even invade CE's siege camp, because they see so many heroes top lane trying to steal the shots from Dahaka. Looks like they leave Lucio to scout the rotation, and they push really hard. See Nubarak Beetles. And this is just going to be an entire wall, because CE sent all the heroes top lane to try and steal shots from Dahaka. Here comes ETC on the flank. And yeah, CE just doesn't even have the time to do their own siege gen camp. They have to defend. One thing to note here is that Dignitas lost like half a wave of soak middle lane. They opted to 4-man bottom lane, and CE could not keep anyone mid to soak the lane either. They had to defend with 4 heroes, so it ends up just giving Dignitas an advantage. You don't have to catch every single minion of soak if you can get more elsewhere with having your heroes there grouped up. Were the first 2 maps even remotely close? No. So now it looks like Dig just let off a lot of pressure, and CE got this camp for free. I feel like Dig should not have allowed this. They have level 7 advantage, so like, Dig rotated some heroes up to wave clear this, but so they have level 7 advantage right now. They could literally 4-man into here with a Dahaka Dig, and they would win this fight. Maybe they knew that Arthas was coming down here, and then they didn't want to go for it. But if they're not going to invade this, they should have started their night camp, because at this point, they gave away the siege camp for free, and now they're going to have to clear it before they start the night camp, or they're starting it with less optimal heroes. So it looks like it'll still be okay for Dignitas. And they don't really want to capture their night camp anyway until the temple spawns, because they have Dahaka to split push with it. So it does look like both teams just captured instantly. A bit surprised. I feel like Dignitas could have held it at least a couple seconds just so that the night camp pushes up closer to Dahaka's wall, because as it is right now, he's not going to be able to walk up and clear Arthas' night camp, because Arthas will just slow him the entire time. Whereas if they had waited a bit longer, maybe even let the knights go into the wall range. And also if they capped it later, then Arthas would have been further up, and would have been much more gankable by this Genji. But Genji now is up here. CE is really slow on their rotation. They saw Genji top like 10 seconds ago, and only now are they 4-man bottom. CE should have been the team to secure these early shots down here, because they saw 2 heroes top lane from Dignitas, but they end up losing these early shots because of their slow rotation. So in the end, Dig is up an entire level. They're up a lot of structure damage right now, and they're going to be looking to force with a Dahaka Dig here. And CE just has 2 cleanses. I mean, this is the issue with the regular pick. Like, if you don't have a cleanse with your support, then the regular pick, the cleanse's value, but you just have another cleanse. You don't need 2 cleanses, ever. Like, a monk would have just been so much better, I feel like. Because they're just going to have, like, unless they're going Bloodlust, they're going to have so many issues with damage output. So, Dig uses the Dig, forces CE out, gets the rest of the temple, they get level 10, they're going to do the boss, and then with that boss, they're probably going to take all of CE's forts. Though they could try and go for a keep. That could be a little bit risky, depending on how close to level 10 CE gets. Another thing here, this is again slow by CE. Let's go back even further. So right here, they just got forced off. So even right here, CE should know that Dig will do this boss with level 10. Very, very likely. So they should already start rotating. They show 3 heroes in the middle lane, which is just, they should not show this many heroes just for 1 minion wave. And then they should know already at this point, and even sooner than this, they should know that Dig will do the boss with their level 10 advantage. And they should know, like, Greymane should already be up here. and be starting to split push this, and try and get level 10 in time to defend the boss. But instead, he's wandering around in the bottom lane. Now he's wandering around under his fort. He's going down to this bottom wave. He's not going to go to the bottom wave. Now he's going up top lane. And he finally looks like he's figured it out, and he goes to the top lane. So he did not need to be there to clear that middle lane wave. Uther and Rhaegar could have both cleared it themselves. And he should have already have gotten, like, killed the entire wall top lane. But instead, he finally shows up here, and the wall has not even been touched yet. And because he's so late to this, see, he's not level 10 yet, and Dig knows there's 3 heroes top, they get to just take a lot of siege damage mid. Looks like it's going to be a stage dive ETC with how he's split pushing right now. But now CE lost some damage mid. They're really far behind on clearing out the boss. And as soon as they start showing heroes to clear out the boss, Dig will just take all the forts. Here come Anubrak Beetles. Looks like they actually sent Rhaegar to solo clear. So CE is deciding to defend their forts against Dignitas, but in exchange, this boss is going to get a lot of extra damage with only one hero clearing it. And Dig could even invade the siege camp. So it's D-Storm. Okay. Yeah, this boss got the entire wall and almost killed the well. Because CE only sent one hero to clear it. Greymane didn't go bot to clear. If Greymane went bot to clear, then Dignitas takes all the forts. That's the problem. Bit surprised that, again, Dignitas didn't invade CE's Siege Giant camp. They knew that a hero was still clearing the boss out, but instead, they clear out their own Siege Giant camp first, and then look for a pick-off with Cocoon. They get cleansed, but now they're in a bit of a tough spot. But the fort's dead, so they should be okay. Stage dive misses. They do get a D-Storm out on Vala. Looks like Arthas rooted her there or something. So what happens to Vala here? She gets Uther stunned when she tries to rain, and then she just doesn't get her vault out. Looks like she didn't use vault here at all. Yeah, Vala... Oh, there it is. Okay, so her vault's down, and CE knows that, and Uther is calling her as a target. He gets the first stun, and then he gets the D-Storm off, and she's dead. Lucio... Also, he wants to get the sound barrier down on the Haka, because that's who he expects to be the target, and that's why it comes out so late here. But at this point, Dig has lost the fight. They don't have enough damage anymore. It looks like Lucio's even going to die. So, just a big overdive by Dignitas, trying to look for that Cocoon play, when CE had already finished capping their Siege Giants, and they were not very far behind on that rotation.
My magic flows through the temples. Guardians, do not let these mortals approach them.
Even with these kills, though, it's going to be hard for CE to avoid just trading shots with Dignitas. As soon as they send heroes to the bottom lane, Dignitas knows that stage dive's down for a little while, and the Halaka instantly just digs mid, and then they're going to force an engage here, and force CE back. And then as this engage is happening, Vala and Lucia are coming back, so there's no way for CE to contest these shots, at least until stage dive is up. And even when stage dive is up, Dignitas will have level 13, so CE just can't do anything really. This talent again. Let's watch Vala get one shot this game. Watch her die to like a stage dive damage, and then all of the Greymane spell damage. If I was either team, just looking at the map right now, I would have held my night camp, at least until the enemy team captured theirs, because right now there's literally nothing else on the map. You can just send your global to the bottom lane, they can get that soak really safely, they can let it push into them if they feel unsafe, and then you just let all the waves push forward, and then you hold this night camp until the next temple spawn, or until some other objective spawn, because capping it right now will just result in it being cleared for free. And Dignitas is doing this, but CE did not. So it looks like CE wants to try and push with their night camp maybe, but I don't think there's any way that will succeed. Just a free night camp clear for Dignitas. And CE is trying to push mid. They might get this mid fort dead. So I guess they still get some value out of their night camp. But I'm not sure if that is still efficient. Because now Dignitas is going to have their own Knight Camp pushing top lane. And they can either look to force a team fight while CE is clearing it, with a really big minion wave there, or they can look for a pick off on the global. Looks like Dignitas isn't getting any value out of their Knight Camp either, so, I mean, it just seems weird that Dignitas captured this Knight Camp, and then it helped with the DPS for Dahaka clearing out the enemy team's Knight Camp, but then they just let it get cleared for free, and they cleared like a minion wave for it in exchange. So I mean, like, neither team, I mean, CE got this fort to kill this fort with their Knight Camp, but Dignitas got literally nothing off of this Knight Camp. They could have just held it and just kept it for a while. It's just really weird. Like, you have to get value out of your camps, and Dignitas did not. And suddenly the game looks a lot more even after that lost team fight that Dignitas had top lane. And now they're just losing a ton of siege damage on this fort. Like, it's understandable that Dig wants to avoid an engage, but they just lost half of their fort for free now too. It's a good Arthas route, but Uther was really slow on the follow-up there. Maybe not really slow, but I feel like Arthas calls, he's looking for root, and as soon as he casts the root, that's when Uther should come out. He shouldn't wait for it to hit. Maybe Vala reacts if she sees Uther come out of the bush, but it's whatever. So now Dig is 16. They're still going to lose this fort though. CE is still going to force this fort down, because they know if Dahaka digs to force this engage, then suddenly CE will be the team that gets some temple shots here for free. So they get this fort, and that gets them, and just Dignitas gave away a lot of stuff for free this game. Just this entire top lane fort, and that gives CE the window to actually get level 16 and go and contest the bottom temple shots. And Dig has got nothing. They just gave away this entire fort, and all they got was like half of these temple shots, but they could have gotten that anyway, and they could have been taking these mercenary camps with their 16 advantage. Oh, they do get a keep off of those shots, which is nice, and that keep dies because way back, Rhaegar was the only hero that defended this boss, because CE was trying to hold on to their forts while defending the boss, and the boss got the entire wall and most of the well, and that means that these shots kill the keep.
My temple's magic subsides. Find something else to fight.
Looks like Dignitas might actually be playing to get value out of their camp. They saw heroes bottom lane from CE 5 to 10 seconds ago clear into a siege camp, so they go up, they're just going to get a tower, and they're going to leave. And they know that CE cannot be here in time to engage on them during that window. So there they're actually getting value out of their mercenary camp. And now we'll have to see what value CE gets out of their mercenary camp. They might just go for some kind of an all-in push in the bottom lane, because they are very far behind, but they're not so far behind that, like, they're within a distance of Dignitas where if they win a team fight, they can come back in the game, especially with the boss being back up. So it looks like they're not all in committing to this boss. Greymane has not even activated his W yet. That's how you know for sure that they're not committed to it. They're just using to pull pressure and to let their siege camp push up the bottom lane. And then they're hoping Dignitas makes a mistake. They're hoping maybe Dignitas lets the siege camp get value, but against catapults in the lane, the siege camp will not get any value. And in the end, CE is just eating free damage. And they're not going to find anything. Dig is playing really safe. So now Greymane's W has been activated, so CE is a bit more committed to this. I'm not sure if CE actually wins a team fight on the boss point though. Especially when they've already taken significant damage from tanking it, whereas Dignitas has not taken any. So Cocoon goes down on Uther, Isolation goes down on Greymane, Sound Barrier already came out, and Dragon Blade is going to kill everything. He dashed a bit early there, but it's still going to kill everyone. CE just doesn't have the damage. Even though Anubarak is significantly less tanky than Arthas on the point, the CE has way less damage, and there was just with Uther Cocooned, Genji could just Dragon Blade and go on anything with the sound barrier. So pretty easy 3-0 for Dignitas. Now we'll see Fnatic versus SPT. Well, this is overall looking at... I don't know, there's another hour left because the VOD was split up for whatever reason. Alright. Eshire. The Nubarak ban is pretty interesting. This would mainly be because Fnatic has shown that they've been unwilling to pick Murden a lot. So SPT is potentially trying to prey on any hero pool weaknesses on Breeze.
Change is upon us.
First pick Dahaka. Okay, that does leave ETC up. Genji is also still up. Abathur is also still up. That's a real pick. Could be like ETC Genji. Could be ETC Lucio. Could be Greymane Lucio. Hello, Slyanka.
I bring the mega death.
Alright. So Greymane is up, Lucio is up, Arthas is up, and Tyrael is up. Why do I think Alex isn't really being played by the pros? I don't think they've had enough time to practice her. I think she's really strong, especially on maps where you only really need to contest the objective, and the rest of the time you can play passively, where you can just play around her Dragon Form cooldown, and because her Dragon Form, if you have a Dragon Form Alex Raza, you just win team fights for free.
Oh, this is my jam!
Actually pick Murden Lucio. I mean, this Murden pick here really indicates to me that Fnatic does have hero pool issues on their tank. Because I feel like, I don't know, can Breeze just not play Arthas? Because they could just hold this tank pick and get a Greymane right here, or get a Tyrael right here. Or like, because like, for tanks that are up, there's Murden, there's Arthas, and there's Tyrael. And all of them are good, and I don't know why they need to pick Murden here, instead of getting Greymane. Or another priority pick. It just seems really weird to me, and seems like a pretty big weakness. If it's actually, that's actually how things are. But maybe Fnatic is next leveling everybody, and they're drafting as if they have this hero pool weakness, and then they're going to get to the finals against KSV, and then suddenly Breeze was able to play all of these tanks the entire time. And they just win a draft for free or something, if KSV makes too many assumptions. So, I mean, Greymane is still just up, and I feel like Fnatic has to ban that. They're banning Abathur. I don't know. Like, you're gonna ban Abathur, and then the enemy team is gonna get Greymane, they're gonna get Tyrael, and they're gonna get, like, Monk, or whatever other support they want. And SVT just wins the draft, I feel like. Just with this Murden pick, and then this Abathur ban. I don't know. Should be able to play Arthas, he's one of the easiest, yeah. I mean, they don't need to pick Tyrael here. They could pick Greymane and a support, and last pick a hero, but I feel like Tyrael Genji, always really good. They have the second tank. They don't even have to commit. Okay. Don't pick Greymane. don't even pick. Okay. I mean, I can understand the Uther pick. Uther, just with the way the meta is right now, is really good against the way teams are playing their strategies and trying to play team fights. Memes, Mage Reliance. Yeah. So, I mean, they just gave Fnatic a Greymane for free. And then it's probably Greymane, and then they could go... Zeratul will be... Literally, they would only pick Zeratul if they expected, and they were very confident SPT would pick Tyrael here. But I feel like SPT is more likely to go a second support with the Uther pick at this point. Especially with the Vala pick too. This is indicating Vala Oriole is going to be the pick. So you take Greymane, and then you take maybe Chromie, though she's pretty weak against Genji. You could just take Greymane Li Ming, that'd be pretty simple.
Will rise again.
Greymane Gul'dan, I guess. Yeah, Greymane Li Ming. I mean, I just... Greymane is up, and Greymane doesn't need an Oriole paired with him to be really effective. Whereas you pick Vala, you've already told the enemy team what your 5th pick is going to be, and having the last pick is a really big advantage because you can't counterpick it. The enemy team cannot counterpick it, they can't plan anything in advance. Unless you literally just tell them, we picked Vala, our last pick is going to be Oriole. They could have held this Uther for last pick, went Vala Oriole, and then at least Uther would have been a hidden last pick. But this is just, I don't like it. Especially when Greymane is up. Greymane is just so good. And I don't know why Fnatic gets to still get Greymane after they picked this random Murd in here. It'd be really surprising if SPT picked like Tyrael here or another tank. I feel like it just has to be Oriole when you've already picked Vala over Greymane. That's the only reason to ever pick Vala over Greymane. Okay. I have no idea why you didn't pick Greymane here. I don't know. Someone in chat, please tell me, why is this Vala not a Greymane? Maybe they want to avoid like Cassia kind of, but it's not like Vala is that much better against a Cassia. How hard is it to predict which team gets each of the 20 playables? It's pretty easy, as long as teams are actually not compensating for weaknesses in hero pools, as I circled Breeze's face. China in general prefers Vala much more? Okay. And then they also don't take fucking Gloom on Vala, so she gets one shot by Greymane in every single team fight. That's what's especially insane to me, is that you pick Vala when Greymane's up, and then the enemy team takes Greymane, and then you don't even take Gloom on Vala, so she gets one shot by the Greymane every team fight, and then you go into the next game, you're like, yeah, Vala was really good. Definitely way more effective than Greymane was in this game. Need to keep picking her. Need to keep prioritizing her over Greymane. NA people take Gloom. I showed the math on stream yesterday, and against the Greymane, when he is bursting you, it is strictly better to have Gloom. Especially when the enemy team has other magic damage to go with it, such as a Li Ming, or a Genji, or a Gul'dan, or a Chromie. In any of those situations, you should take Gloom. You should not take the Q healing.
10 seconds. 5, 4.
Genji actually went... This is a talent I've literally never seen before in competitive. What it does is when you use your D to jump over a wall, you get 25% move speed for 6 seconds. And theoretically, it's really strong, but a lot of the time, you aren't actually jumping over walls with your D as Genji. So what happened here? So it looks like Fnatic sent their 4-man to this side of the bush, and only Murd into here. And then EDC just ends up face checking into it, without his Uther being in range to support him. If you're doing this kind of a risky face check, you need to have your supports in range to back you up, because if Uther is here to heal him, he lives. But Uther literally doesn't get any spells off to heal the ETC. And if Uther got WQ off, gave him the 15 armor, ETC gets his own spells off, gets 20 armor, Suddenly, look at how much damage Fnatic took. And then EDC just slides out, and then suddenly it is Fnatic that lost that trade. But instead, they just get a free kill. And it even gives the Haka the essence to survive right there. So now Fnatic pushed in the middle lane as 5, pushing in the bottom lane. But, and also SPT showed a lot of heroes middle lane. I want to go back here. This is a big mistake from SPT. So right here, there is some minions pushing into their middle lane. And ETC is just respawning. So SPT is clearing it, their towers are killing it. But here they make the mistake. They show every single hero except for Monk. No, Monk even shows. Literally every single hero of SPT, all 4 of these heroes, plus Genji showing top lane. So Fnatic looks at this, they're like, what the hell are these people doing? And they're like, okay, free wall. Murden's even watching this rotate to see this. So there's literally this is a free wall. There's no way that SPT can defend their wall now. And they see every single hero rotating. They see 3. They call Dahaka, play safe top, there's a Monk up there. And this is a lot of structure damage that just got given away by SPT for free. And a lot of ammo drain too, while they were trying to protect their ammo in the middle lane. They used none of the ammo of their towers mid, and look at how much they lost bottom lane. That is just really bad. Already. I guess that talent, the Genji talent level 1, is really good if he's solo laning, because if you just hop over these walls, you can kite Dahaka very easily. And now it looks like Yiming is mid against ETC, and she will have an advantage in that lane as long as there's no other pressure that comes to her. And Fnatic will 3v3 in the bottom lane. They won't be able to win this because it's against double support. But Muradin will be freed up because SPT does not have too much siege pressure, and Grey will be able to defend. Genji actually is just gonna die. Okay. He didn't D to dodge the Muradin stun. I think he was being greedy, trying to get this ability, this talent to proc, jumping over the walls of the Dragon Knight cap. SPT, there's a block totem, and it dies instantly. Bad placement of the block totem. So right here, Genji just died. SPT is still pushing, and this is just so greedy. They're trying to get something back for the Genji death, but now they're just way too far up. And then again, this block totem goes down. If it's in a good position, it's going to cut all of Greymaine's damage in half. But it's in an awful position, and it literally dies. Muradin presses W, Greymain presses Q, Lucio presses Q, and it's actually just dead. And now you have no way to save your heroes. And there's 2 resets. And they probably even body block... Yeah, they body block Uther out of his gate. This has been pretty insane so far. Fnatic trying to set up for a Dragon Knight, but EDC's there to stall, and Genji is on top. But the main thing, Fnatic weren't mainly going for this Dragon Knight. If they wanted it, they probably could have gotten it. They could have left one hero down here, like Muradin, sent Greymane, Li Ming, and Lucio up to mid, and kept the Haka top lane. But instead, they just got the entire bottom lane wall, they got the well, and now they're starting Mercenary Camp, and they're up an entire level. And Genji is not doing too well in this 1v1. He really needs to be dodging all of the Dahaka's tongues. If he does that, then he wins the 1v1, but if he's taking them, then he's just going to have to use his tap every single time. SPT does find the time to get their own Siege Giant camp out, while Muradin was looking for that gank on Genji top lane. And now Fnatic is just pushing the middle lane. They get another tower, they drain a bunch more ammo, and now they're going to be bot lane in time to defend most of the Siege Giant camp. They'll save their last tower at least. A little bit surprising that they left Lucio in the mid. I guess it makes sense. Uther went cleanse. Really surprised by this, honestly. That Uthers are going cleanse rather than going the 75 armor talent. That was really aggressive by Greymane. But it looks like it'll work out. SPT bailed out of that fight really hard. Was it because Dahaka was digging? Looks like Genji called that, like... Did Dahaka dig down here? Looks like, yeah, they heard Dahaka dig, and then they all bailed out, except for EDC, who went to slide. The block totem goes down late, and doesn't block any damage on Vala, and at that point she's too low to fight, and it's a 5v4, and EDC wasted a slide and couldn't get out. It's only 50 armor. 50 armor is 50% damage reduction. That literally doubles the hero's effective health pool. That's pretty good. Dahaka did lose an entire top wave of Soak for that. And Fnatic were trying to do the bottom lane night camp, but they're getting pressured, and they were not expecting Genji to show up here, and this is going to end very badly for Fnatic. Li Ming should be dead too. Maybe not. Genji didn't get his move speed proc. Fnatic were not expecting this Genji collapse, but it might even be a Dragon Knight. Oh boy, that's really bad. That's a DK. That's a really big mistake by Fnatic. What was Dahaka doing during this entire time? It looks like he just cleared mid. And nobody on Fnatic was expecting Genji to show up down here, so Dahaka couldn't get to the cap in time. And they also died bottom lane. They were playing too aggressively, expecting it to be a 4v3. If you're solo supporting, it makes sense to go cleanse, because then you will have to use your cooldowns to just heal your teammates. But when you already have a second support, and you have an ETC with this level 1 talent, you can pretty much always hold your cooldowns just to give armor to people when they get CC'd. See you later, Jaxi. So at this point, Fnatic just lost their entire lead that they got. And are even a little bit behind now, in terms of structures. Palm, Dragonblade, D-Shield. Li Ming committed to Wave of Force before ETC is committed to his own ultimate. I think she's expecting it to be Mosh Pit, because if ETC goes Stage Dive, then SPT has no front line and no engage. But there also isn't a ton to be Wave of Forcing other than a Mosh Pit. Just basically, if ETC does end up going Stage Dive, it makes Li Ming's ultimate choice a lot less effective here. And it is Stage Dive, and now Li Ming's ult is not going to be that great. Though they might get this pick on ETC, they miss Isolation. Fnatic were able to take their mercenary camps out way faster than SPT, and they got a Siege Giant camp and a Knight camp, while SPT only got a Siege camp. Wave always better. Eh. Laser does so much damage. It's a nice D-shield. Just commit to it. The dig is down, so there's not going to be too big of a window between dig coming off cooldown and your D-shield coming off cooldown.
Soon the shrines shall awaken, heroes.
So that the Dahaka dig was looking for a 5v4, while ETC would not be able to get any pressure top lane. But D-shield is used, and now ETC gets to clear out the Knight camp for free. Mostly for free, his clear is pretty bad, so the Knight camp probably got a lot of damage still. But now SPT is going to have their Knight camp out in time for the Dragon Knight spawn, but it looks like Fnatic knows that that was the main camp that SPT was going to go to, and they're looking for a gank on ETC, and even if this gank fails, they're still going to be in position to clear out the Knight camp, and then they're probably going to rotate. It's a bit weird. that they didn't rotate the Hawk at the bottom lane. It looks like they're planning to just clear this really quickly and then go down and defend. One sec, I'll link the scaling stats in chat. Disintegrate damage overrated? Disintegrate does ridiculous damage. Disintegrate does 717 damage at level 10 compared to Wave of Force's 261. So in exchange, when SPT saw a bunch of Heroes of Fnatic top lane, they got the Knight camp out bottom lane, and Fnatic's plan wasn't to push top lane and swap the Haka down. They just wanted to clear out the Knight camp, and then they knew that while they were clearing the Knight camp, SPT would take out the bottom lane Knight camp, so they would have to defend that. Wave stops ETC ult. ETC isn't going to be stage diving when he's within Wave of Force range of the Leeming. Looks like SPT actually managed to force down this fort with their Knight camp. Genji was delaying Greymane a lot. He lost a lot of HP for it, but this is going to result in a lot of Dragon Knight pressure on Fnatic, and it's going to be tough for them to deal with it. There's one stall, but it's going to take more stalls. ETC could have slid there. This spell shield is on. Don't do that. Alright, they get the decap, and SPT lost any opportunity to force an engage. When Muradin walked into melee range of the ETC there, he could have been slid and taken a lot of damage, and potentially even been body blocked to death. But SPT didn't push for anything while they had that Dragon Knight pressure on Fnatic. Though they might get it back with ETC winning the 1v1 top lane. And they even brought Genji up. So they get out the camp, while Fnatic only gets the bottom lane cap. And there goes your spell shield to a random Muradin stun. Definitely worth the talent pick. Not totally sure what Fnatic is looking for on the map, or what SPT is looking for. How does either team break this stalemate of just rotating and killing minion waves? And there's a spell shield again, and watch Muradin just stun it right off of him. Fnatic is pretty out of position to deal with this siege giant camp, and SPT knows this. Okay. That's Palm and Cleanse down, and now SPT just has to leave because all of Uther's heals are down as well. So SPT was expecting Fnatic to be bottom lane clearing their siege camp out, but then they got caught out in that rotate, and that's going to lose them any pressure they could have gotten on the Dragon Knight cap. So Fnatic still has not dealt with that siege giant camp, and Muradin might even be caught out here. They even stage dive in on him. Slide misses, but he's still gonna die. And they have their siege giant camp right here. They could take this wall. They should. What are you doing, SPT? Take the wall! Take the wall, SPT! There we go. Get a kill, get some buildings, get an objective. Nice. They get most of the wall. They would have gotten the entire wall, but they were really slow to actually commit to that push. And they even managed to sneak Monk all the way to the top lane. And this is going to be a bit... Fnatic might even just lose the Dragon Knight here. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Muradin gets caught, trying to cap this. Can't jump out far enough because he doesn't have 16. The rest of his team was elsewhere on the map. And Fnatic overall ends up getting punished for just leaving the siege giant camp to push up the entire time, so it made it a lot harder for them to rotate quickly to get down here with their 4 men, because if they rotate as 4, SPT just sends ETC up to here, takes the cap away from Dahaka, and then the Siege Giant camp the entire time is getting value. And as soon as they back off to clear the Siege Giant camp, SPT wins 4v3 up here, or down here, and wins the 1v1 up here. So now SPT gets a DK, they get the mid fort, and they're just going to be up a level to 2 levels, depending on what they're getting here. One issue with what SPT did here is they put EDC in the Dragon Knight, which is their global, so they cannot split soak at all, which is going to let Fnatic not fall nearly as far behind in experience. Pretty sure Monk is turning off Spell Shield. No. It made the sound of it getting procced when Murden stunned him. Valla once again matching the pictures, really great. And there's Monk's Spell Shield. It just got procced. Let's show you an instant replay of that. Basically, this mage minion, when it does this channel ability, right there, you can see a little bar under its health bar. So it's channeling a spell, that does spell damage, and it hits Monk's Spell Shield. And there, you hear the sound, it gets procced, and now his Spell Shield is going to disappear. He did not turn it off, it got procced by the mercenary camp. And now he does not have it for the next 30 seconds. It literally blocked like 10 damage from that mercenary. So SPT's ahead by half a level, but they did use the Dragon Knight pressure across the map to get out mercenary camps. But now they need to get value out of these mercenary camps. So it looks like they're getting ready in position to push down the top fort. What do I think on the Valla 13? Garbage. Watch her get one shot. Oh look, there's Monk's Spell Shield. Definitely not turned off. Definitely just randomly on for no reason. Like, does he just not know he can turn it off? And if he doesn't know he can turn it off, then why does he take the talent? It makes no sense. It's a bit weird. SPT, like, gets part of the fort, and now they're trying to get a fight. Looks like they still got the fort, and they actually managed to defend their fort. So that's a little bit surprising that SPT pulled that off. But that's actually a pretty good move. They calculated well that they could get enough damage on the fort, top lane fort, that the Night Camp would finish it off, and then they get bottom lane in time to defend their own fort, and that puts them up an entire level, and that's really nice. But now they've backed themselves into a very, very tricky corner. Looks like Fnatic's gonna let them out though. Oh, he turned it off, maybe. No, it probably got procced by the Night Camp, honestly. Well, normally you want to, like, punish the enemy team when they just go in there and do that Night Camp, but Fnatic kind of just sits around, lets them out, lets all the Night Camps push in everywhere. Fnatic is just not playing this too well. Both teams don't have their global off cooldown, so they have to stay together as 5. They're looking to punish ETC with a slide down. The bullet might have honestly missed there, I'm not even sure. I'm gonna go back, I just want to see if bullet hit. Bullet missed, it hit the Monk. And again, we can see Monk's Spell Shield. Looks like he actually uses it kind of decently. He might have actually had it turned off and turned it back on. But this is fine. As long as SPT doesn't literally lose heroes here, their Night Camp top lane is still alive, getting minion wave stacks up, draining all the ammo, killing this wall. Same down here. This wall is going to be finished off, and it's going to start raining the fort's ammo. And Fnatic was getting nothing during that entire time. They weren't getting any split soak because the Hawkadig was down. And they were not getting any mercenary camp pressure of their own. Murden actually went Imposing Presence. That's really surprising that he went that instead of Stone Form. And SPT has not seen Fnatic show up to clear out Night Camps. They finally see that. Talk has finally shown clearing that. And that gives them... They rotate his 5 to the top lane cap. His Spell Shield's on again. It just fell off. Did he turn it off? No, it got procced by Greymane Q. High value talent right here. Look at that talent. Look at that high value level 13 talent. Okay, so with the Dragon Knight pressure, they're looking to force an engage, but this time the cleanse is a bit late. Palm gets overlapped with all the Uther cooldowns. Breeze might even just die still. And I mean, Imposing Presence just does not seem very good this game. And that's another Dragon Knight. Well then. The hell's happening? I mean, SPT is not even... Wait, was Palm actually used? The hell? Oh, okay, it just doesn't show the cooldown while he's in Dragon Knight. I was kind of wondering about that. Well, this time, SPT did not put their global inside the Dragon Knight, and their tank inside the Dragon Knight, so they should actually be able to push down and keep here. With level 20 advantage, Vala attack range, Bolt on ETC. They're even looking to end the game. That is... What just happened there? Oh. He Bolt W'd and then Q'd. That just doesn't work. Just Bolt Q next time. I guess the one thing that can be said for Vala over Greymane is at level 20 she gets a way stronger level 20 talent compared to Greymane's level 20 talent. But it looks like SPT is just going to take down the... Okay, Vala, you need to dodge those spells. Nice Palm. Uther dies, but he has respawn, and SPT is fine. They can right-click core right now. Okay. I don't know what the fuck Fnatic's doing. They're playing like shit. They just did nothing on the map. They let mercenary camps constantly push into their buildings. They took... they lost their lead because of over-aggressive play, where they were not expecting a Genji rotation. It was a good Genji rotation, but Fnatic were just playing way too aggressively in a 4v3, and they were losing that 4v3. And then they threw away their lead, and then they never did anything else for the rest of the game, and just let mercenary camps push in advantages. SPT actually played really well this game, though. Other than that level 1 death, they played really well. And some bad early rotations. But other than that, like their late game rotations, when they killed Fnatic's top fort with their Night Camp, and got to the bottom lane in time to defend their own fort, that was really nice. Fnatic doesn't like playing Dragonshire at the moment? Well, fuck you. Ban the map if you don't want to play it. Like, ban the map if you don't want to play the map, if you're just going to lose on it. For free. Or just learn the fucking map if you're not going to learn Warhead Junction, which is the map that they actually banned.
Bring the mega death.
No, Fnatic didn't pick Dragonshire. They were first pick on that map. Alright. Again, the Anubrak ban. Actually, was Fnatic first pick? Let me double check. No, Fnatic was first pick. They first picked the Haka. And then they ended up with Breeze on Murden, and he did not play very well on that. Abba gonna lose a lot of priority to changes in ammo? No. It really doesn't affect him. Honestly, it buffs him, to be honest. Because before, when there was ammo, if you just pushed the waves into Abathur, Once they run out of ammo, Abathur can't deal with the minion waves anymore, and he has to get a teammate to deal with them. Now, when there's no ammo, all he has to do is shield the buildings so they don't take too much damage, and help the buildings clear, and then you never have to get a teammate to help you clear the waves out. So, Lucio Tyrael. Because Abathur Genji is both still up, but then if they take Genji, then Fnatic will take Lucio Tyrael, and then they feel like if they have Lucio Tyrael, they aren't scared of Abathur Genji from Fnatic. So the question is, does Fnatic still take Genji, even into these two counter picks, or are they going to end up banning it? They could go like Greymane Abathur here, that'd still be fine. Monk is also still up, but we'll see. Yeah, I feel like Abathur's better on the new patch, not worse. Like if anything, he's better for sure. Yeah, they clear minions like decently slower, but that was never the issue for Abathur, because he would shield the building that was getting focused by the minions, and then he would help clear it, help speed up the clear anyway. So it would be like before the first couple waves would be cleared really quickly by Abathur hitting the wall and the wall shooting all of its ammo out, but then as soon as it runs out of ammo, the wall will just die. Abathur hat can't kill the minion wave. But now his wall will take a bit more damage from each wave, but it will never reach the point where it just runs out of ammo and just dies to a minion wave. So it makes it a lot easier for teams to potentially just leave Abathur to soak like even 2 lanes at once, put his body one lane, hat the other lane, let the minions just push into the towers constantly, and just roam around the map, and not have to even deal with minions anymore. Or at least not nearly as much. So this Vala pick is interesting. I guess one big thing is that Greymane, if he is the one getting dove, Greymane cannot kite until he gets the move speed at level 13, and even then his kiting is much weaker. So if there's like a Tyrael that just throws himself in there and sancts, Vala can get out of that situation, but Greymane cannot, and that's a big difference, and that is part of the reason why Fnatic picked it. It also might just be to deny SPT the Vala, because they felt like the Vala was getting too much value in the last game. So Greymane is still up, Genji is still up, Abathur is still up, and Fnatic is hovering a Cassia ban, which is pretty surprising. Because I feel like if they wanted to not have to deal with Cassia, they could have picked Arthas instead of this Monk. Because now they're stuck in this situation where they have 2 heroes that don't have good matchups into Cassia, and they have to consider banning her instead of Genji or Greymane or Abathur, which would have been which are much bigger issues, I feel like, if this is a different pick. So SPT just gets anything they want at this point. Like, they could literally go Abathur, Genji, Greymane, and that'd be a sick fucking comp. That'd be such a good comp. Why do they blindly ban TAS every time? Because, I don't know. I don't really know the details of whatever each team's draft planning, but the general idea of banning TAS is that if you pick it from first pick, the enemy team can like counter pick it or something, whereas second pick might have an advantage, or it might be about basically like how many priority picks are left available. So let's say that we're going into a draft, and let's say there's one hero in the game that is completely broken, and whichever team gets the hero just wins the game for free. Like literally, they just have a button that you press the button, destroy the enemy team's core. So then, if you're first pick, then that's an advantage for you, because you will ban whatever other hero, and the enemy team has to ban that hero, or else you just win the game. So then, we'll continue that. There's one hero that just presses a button, kills the core. Then there's a second hero where, like, he does that too, but a bit worse, or something like that. He presses a button, kills an enemy team's keep. And then there's a third hero that's like, press a button, kill an enemy team's, like, fort. And then, like, so the first hero has to be banned by second pick, and then your first pick, and there's those other 2 heroes up that are just way better than every other hero in the game, so you ban one of those 2 heroes. So you ban the hero that kills forts. And then the enemy team has to ban the hero that just instantly wins the game, and then you get to pick the hero that instantly just kills keeps. So it might be like that, where it's like, how many priority picks, how many like super high value picks are there, and you want to make it so that you get 1 and they get none, or you get like 3 and they get 2, something like that. Like, maybe Fnatic knows that SPT just can't play Abathur Genji? That'd be so weird, though. SPT literally played Genji last game. I feel like this is the easiest... What? Doesn't make any sense. So now Fnatic gets Genji. Or maybe SPT thinks that Fnatic won't pick Genji? Or maybe they want Fnatic to pick Genji and then they'll get Greymane still, and then they're fine with that? I don't know why you pick Tracer, though. That is just so... Like, you don't have the healing for a Tracer. She's gonna lose like half her HP and she's just not gonna be able to fight. This is really weird. It's not like Fnatic was gonna pick Tracer. Uther to Halaka. There have been spam bots for a little bit. A few days. But it's literally just been like one message per stream, and then I just ban it, and then it doesn't matter. So where is Greymane and Genji? Did they just get like... Was there an invisible ban that happened right here for each team? I don't understand. Like, I can maybe understand Fnatic's draft, where they go double tank, double support, and they're too tanky to die to a Genji and the Genji clone, and then as soon as all of that is dealt with, then they win the fight with a Vala sustained damage. But then, I have no idea what SPT's draft is. I have absolutely no clue. What do they even clone with the draft? They have, like, Lucio, Tyrael, Leoric, Tracer? Tracer is a garbage clone. Tracer is, like, absolutely awful. Leoric's a bad clone. Lucio's a bad clone. Like, their only clone that can even do anything is a Tyrael, and that's not a good clone. It actually makes no sense at all. Do I think 2 tanks is good in this meta? Yeah. Tyrael plus another tank, or like the Haka plus another tank, all that kind of stuff has been really good so far. So they clone Tyrael, and then they have a random Tyrael clone that like goes around and does some damage and slows some people. Like, okay. You could have had a Genji clone though. You could have had a Greymane clone. But instead you have this shit. I don't know. I guess they're just... So they're camping a bush, level 1. They have mines watching for when a hero comes by. But Fnatic's gonna be down here with 4 heroes, and they're gonna be fine. Okay, nice gank. Very nice. Okay, free Lucio kill, sure. Doesn't react in time to the ETC slide, dies for free. Like, Abathur isn't even a hat build, or like the W talent at level 1. So his hat, the power of his hat going into the late game is going to be really bad. Because you don't have that extra AoE and cooldown reduction for your W talents at 13 and 16, they're just way weaker. So like, I just cannot comprehend this. And off that Lucio kill, Fnatic gets the whole tower. And they're just 4-man rotating this entire time. And SPT has done nothing to disrupt them. Now they're like dismounting them a little bit, and that'll waste some of Fnatic's time, and maybe make them miss a minion, but someone's gonna go down there and get it, while Vala and Monk do the camp. Yeah, Fnatic lost 1 minion there. So those dismounts, but that's it. SPT hasn't even started their own camp yet. They can't even do their own camp, they do it so slowly. Oh god. Alright, so they're making a play for Abathur capping camp while Leorix messes with the Haka, and we'll win that 1v1 if Fnatic doesn't collapse. And then hopefully, if SPT's comp works properly, they would have taken their own camp and they also would win this 3v3. But most likely neither of these things are going to happen, and they're just gonna lose everything. What the hell is this draft? Like, as soon as Leoric gets forced off by 2 heroes, you need to have already zoned Fnatic out and be getting this cap, because as soon as the Hawk is able to dig down, you can't do anything. So they're just down an entire level. While Abathur was capping this cap, he couldn't get any soak, so he probably lost a lot of soak while he was doing that. And they're down an entire level. An entire level. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Maybe not an entire level, maybe there was a ton of minions for Fnatic that SPT hadn't cleared yet, but with an Abathur comp, you want to be, because normally you're not going to win on shots with an Abathur comp until level 10, so you want to get an experience lead while the enemy team is committing to the shots. But they are not getting either of those, and they're just dying to an ETC who presses Q. And it looks like they actually left their camp over here with like 1 or 2. They already partly cleared the camp, so Fnatic just goes over and takes it while Tracer's dead. Oh boy. Now ETC knocks everyone back, and Lucio Boop is not going to stop them. And now Fnatic's going to take their own camp, they're going to have level 7, and they're just going to take that fort. Okay. I mean, lots of Tracer value so far. Sitting in lanes, killing minions. She hasn't used a single bomb yet. Abathur is full of E, I guess to heal the Tracer is the idea. But York's gonna get punished for his E. And the Hawk is gonna push in the top lane wall. And if you go up there, we're gonna see that Abathur, his buildings are going to run out of ammo, and once they're out of ammo, they're going to die.
The altars have risen.
Uther has cleanse. I guess there's nothing that would actually proc his armor talent, so you have to go cleanse. That's just the life of Uther. But it's going to be pretty easy. Oh, Vala Mr. Stall actually, but still fine. Monk is breaking the shield on Tracer, she doesn't get the healing from it. Nice ETC slide into an Uther stun, into a 1 HP Tracer, and even though she doesn't die, it doesn't matter. Because she cannot fight, because she cannot be healed. So that's another cap, that's a level lead, that's a camp, that's a fort in the bottom lane. That'll be a level 10 advantage, and it might even be a boss. I don't know. Monk 16 gonna dumpster Tracer, yeah. Monk is already dumpstering Tracer pretty hard, but yeah. Even level 10 Monk with Palm or Uther with D-Shield is gonna dumpster Tracer. Like Fnatic right now, after clearing this wave, they could go do boss right now. While SPT has to deal with this camp. Or they could try and force the camp in too. If they think that they can force the camp in, which they probably can because SPT has actually no damage to clear this camp out, then that works too, and then they can still just take the boss when they get level 10. Maybe they take this camp, maybe they even escort in this second camp as well, and then go take the boss. But they can do whatever they want. SPT can't do anything on this map. Even Vala at 13? Yeah, as long as Vala isn't playing match the pictures, she shouldn't die to a bomb. The Oryx bullying the Haka a little bit at least, not letting him double soak for free while Fnatic is 4-manning. But these camps are just gonna go in without taking any damage. There's no damage. They just bombed it, and it didn't even die. It got in before the bomb killed it. And now Tracer's bomb is down for these caps, and now they get a pick off on the Leoric. Okay. Yep, you're very tanky, Leoric. Go away. Maybe they wasted too much time killing the Leoric. He delayed them enough that SPT will get this cap. But that doesn't even matter. Fnatic escorted in 6 shots with Camp's bottom lane, and they're just going to keep doing that for the rest of the game. And SPT's draft is not doing anything. They don't even have mosh pit interrupts. Alright, here it comes. Here comes the Uber team fight. Oh, there's the only interrupt for mosh pit down. He's shielded anyway. Lucio does get sound barrier off, but Monk goes out and kills Tracer. Because D-shield was wasted on the mosh pit. Vol's gonna die, and... Wow, look at that Tracer clone. Look at that Tracer clone. Wow, look at it use recall. Draft losses are so boring to watch, yeah. I mean, they're also really depressing to play as the team that lost the draft, so there's a lot of incentive to not lose the draft in this game. But I don't have a fucking, like, Fnatic literally gave them that team fight, but Uther does not need to be de-shielding the mosh pit, because what happened there was ETC, Lucio booped him, and he instantly just pressed R, and then Uther de-shielded him for no reason. And, I mean, it needs to be communicated between ETC and Uther, where ETC says their only interrupt is literally this, get this guy's Q button. And if he uses it, then I'll tell you, and then you don't need to de-shield me, and then you can de-shield the Vala so that she doesn't die. I guess SPT caught up on experience from that team fight, getting back their fort, but now they're down 20 shots, and their comp still doesn't really do anything. I don't know. As soon as Fnatic doesn't de-shield the mosh pit, then they'll just win every team fight.
The altars rise again.
I'm glad to see some good Vala play, where she does not vault directly into the enemy team. Because that was pretty depressing to watch. That was pretty depressing to watch.
Do not disappoint me.
That was a bad trade by Vala. She should not have. Let's just go back and look at this one more time. So what happens here is Tracer gets a nice big Abathur shield with those talents, and Vala decides, let's trade 1v1. And she even walks into the Tracer, so Tracer doesn't even need to blink to get her W ult out. And that's just not good. That's not great. So he taps, he gets Uther healed. I mean, that was just so risky, he could have died there very easily. Okay. I actually want to go back one more time to the Vala Tracer trade, because I want to point out one more thing. So first of all, he doesn't have Gloom. That's why he gets so close to dying. Second of all, the Tracer misses these bombs. If this bomb hits Vala, she dies. If you blink directly on top of the hero, and then use your E, you're guaranteed to hit the bombs. Tracer did not do that, so the Vala lives, and then she blows 4 blinks, getting away. So just misplayed. So Fnatic tries to focus Leoric. He doesn't die, gets March out. What is this mosh pit? I don't know what that mosh pit is. That mosh pit was literally trolling. He gets health back from Q there? Yeah, but he also would have taken 20 to 50% less damage from all of the Tracer damage. I have no idea what that mosh pit was, though. That was weird. The Orc's E is down, so they can focus him. Looks like Fnatic is pretty split on their focus overall. And they're just going to take a Tyrael kill and lose the cap. ETC gets a stall? No. There's a sound barrier. And Lucio's even going to get out. So that's fine for SBT. They got both caps and they only lost a Tyrael. And the entire time that was happening, Abathur was double soaking, so they don't even lose out on experience. They might even be able to defend this fort until Tyrael comes back up. Especially with the Leoric being able to just constantly E people and cut their damage in half. Yeah, that mosh made no sense at all. Like, there was nobody near him. So, Fnatic wasted a bit of time there, trying to push that fort down. So, Tyrael will be here when this camp starts marching in, and they're not even going to try pushing with it. They maybe could have escorted the camp in, if they had done it sooner, before Tyrael got there, but they were going to back off to their own camp anyway, before trying to push anything.
I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center. Use it well.
What? I mean, I knew I could do that. I've opened my tunnel as well.
Mule is at least getting some good value. Slowing down with the Hawk split push into the Abathur.
Yours are rising heroes. Do get ready.
Damn, Vala, why didn't you vault into the enemy team right there? That would have been so much burst damage you do with that second Q. They'd all be dead. There's no way you'd die in that situation. And it looks like SPT is going for the same play. Lyric goes up to the Dahaka, Abathur caps their own one, and Fnatic will probably rotate Monk up to deal with it, or they're looking for an engage. Looks like Lyric actually just left. Fnatic was pushing too hard, so SPT called for Lyric to just help them stall and just fight this. And Lucio, really? Wait. Oh, let's break it. Oh, I walked into mosh pit. Sorry, team. Tyrael might have actually lived. Damn, this Tracer with an Abathur hat, so strong. So powerful. So, what happens here is Tyrael is stalling, that's fine. But then, everyone else from SPT is zoned out because this bush is really scary. And EDC just rips slide and mosh on the Tyrael. And he gets 7-sided striked. And there's nobody there to tank the 7-sided strike. 7-sided strike. Vala Q vaults, everything. Lucio finally comes in, but he sound barriers, and he runs into the mosh pit. Tyrael might have lived if the sound barrier actually went off. Because then the sound barrier goes off, Lucio interrupts the mosh, or it just ends. Then Tyrael gets Sanctification off, and this could actually be a decent fight for SPT. But instead, Tyrael's dead. Lucio also ends up in the mosh pit. There's no sound barrier, which means that the Tracer clone is going to die really fast. The shield gets used to block the explosion. March does like a bit of damage, I guess. But, I mean, Tyrael's just dead. There's no Sanct. Sound barrier is coming up in 2 seconds, and Fnatic is just gonna throw themselves into SPT. This Tracer clone is not very good. Not that good of a clone. So Lucio is finally gonna get his sound barrier off, and the fight's done now. If Vala doesn't die, then I mean they're not gonna win the team fight. So there's another cap, and Fnatic is 5 shots away from winning the game. The boss should be coming up soon, so that will be an option for them, though they are going against a Tyrael that will have Holy Ground most likely. So that's a bit spooky to go for. So they're just going to start trying to push in camps in the bottom lane again, because that was working really well. Weird focus from Tracer on Uther too. Well, he was split really early on, and that's why she went on him, but then I don't know. If she kills Uther, it's still not going to win the team fight. She has to kill, like, anyone else. Like, she has to just go on Vala, to be, like, basically. Like, if they're not on Vala and not focusing Vala with everything, she's not going to die, and they're not going to win the fight. So we'll see if SPT, with their level 16, is better able to deal with these camps that Fnatic will try to push in. Fnatic's actually giving a lot of respect. If Tyrael lived, could SPT have won that team fight? Yeah, probably. Would have been possible for sure. I mean, like, even this game, Gloom would have been so much better. Like, almost all of Tracer's damage, except for her auto attacks, is magic. All of Tyrael's damage is magic. All of Leoric's damage is magic, because he's not going to be auto attacking you. And, like, the Abathur Hat and Abathur Clone is all going to be spell damage too, so it just doesn't make sense. So, SPT sneaks up to the boss. They've got mines watching everywhere, and they have holy ground anyway, so there's no way Fnatic can contest it. And Fnatic is going to see the boss was capped, and take this bottom lane for it. SPT is looking for this Dahaka. I don't know how well this is actually going to work. I'm not sure if he even used his essence yet, because I think he tapped. And that's it. And yeah, they don't, like, basically, if he, as long as he holds his burrow for the Tracer Bomb, he's not going to die there. They don't really have the damage.
The time is now, heroes.
And Fnatic wins the game. I mean, the idea for SPT there was just to get an early kill, but they would have been, they were not even down here in time to stall, so they just lose the game. Cool. cool. I mean, SPT's draft was just total garbage. I have no idea why they picked Tracer over Genji or Greymane. It made literally 0 sense. But whatever. Again, a Nubrak ban by SPT. I'm assuming that they're just going to be banning Nubrak and then trying to take EDC and exploit Breeze's hero pool in that manner.
Bring the mega death.
Whoops. Breeze has a hero pool? Not really. Just a hero puddle. Fnatic's like, oh shit. Breeze, can you play like a tank? He's like, no. Right now I'm pretty banned out. The only hero I can play at this point is Vala. How did I come up with Prismaticism as my handle? It came from like prismatic, the word, but other than that, yeah. So it seems like Fnatic just basically The only tanks Breeze can play is Murden, ETC, and Nubrak. He cannot play Tyrael, he cannot play Arthas, so they just have to pick Murden, even though that's not a pick that SPT was ever going to pick in the draft. Here's my loss. Here we are. So, Genji is still available. So is Tyrael and Lucio. Tyrael's much higher priority on this map because of the boss control. He can play Diablo? Oh wow. That's a really good pick in this meta. That's a really good pick in this meta.
I stand ready.
Lucio Vala. Okay then. Just randomly flossing on stream. I don't know why I'm doing that, but whatever. Oh, alright, we need to go to part 2 of this VOD. Because China production value, China internet, something like that. There we go. Oh, and we see a monk ban. Okay. So with monk ban, what support is Fnatic actually going to go for? My guess, actually, is seeing this monk ban, Fnatic's going to go for the Brightwing Falstead global comp, isolation comp, and they're going to look for stuff like that. Though it is a little bit weird that they ban monk, because they can still fit monk into that comp. But that's my expectation. It'll probably be like Brightwing Falstead melee or something, like Dahaka, even. Something like that. Was that sarcasm? RE Dibbles? Yeah. Zeratul ban. So that Zeratul ban means that SPT wants to pick Tyrael. Even if Fnatic has Genji themselves, SPT still would love to have Tyrael. So yeah, I guess, yeah, Fnatic's gonna go Genji, Falstead, Brightwing would be my guess with that monk ban. And SPT is gonna get Tyrael, and then they're gonna get some other hero. Maybe Oriel. But maybe it's Uther. But I think Fnatic has to take Genji here, because if they just give Genji, like Genji Tyrael plus those other heroes to SPT, that's a pretty good composition to get. I feel like you just lose the game for free if you were against a good team. Nope, Uther Li Ming. Okay, well that's completely different. So I guess it's gonna be Uther, still probably Brightwing? This is just, I don't know why they banned Monk when they could just take it and then still take Uther. Because SPT is gonna take Tyrael for sure with the Zeratul ban, and then most likely Genji. And just be like, yeah, we've got a nice comp. So stage dive ETC as a global, and ETC global pressure too, and then we just have nice boss control, we got nice team fight, we got nice draft. But maybe SPT just can't play Genji, even though they played it earlier in this series. I don't know. I have no idea. The Haka? Okay. Brightwing. Okay. Well, I don't know why they banned Zeratul. I guess this Dahaka Brightwing pick is to deny it from Fnatic. They were expecting Fnatic to be wanting to pick Dahaka and Brightwing, so they're just doing global denies. But I don't know what the Zeratul ban is for, because what they could have done instead is they could have banned one of Dahaka or Brightwing and then taken Genji with Dahaka or Brightwing, whichever wasn't banned. But, I mean, this is fine. Their comp's still fine. They have boss control off Brightwing. And Fnatic also, with their picks of Leeming Uther, means that they can't really pick Genji into this comp. And they already know that Fnatic can't play Tyrael. So that's like a big reason why they went to Haka Brightwing. But I feel like if Fnatic had gone more expected picks, then it would have been a Tyrael for sure, and then maybe a global still. If Fnatic had taken the Genji. Which is weird. See if Fnatic laughing. I don't know if they were laughing or if they were uncomfortably giggling to themselves because they knew they just got bamboozled. Because I feel like maybe the Zeratul ban just seems weird. Because I feel like the Zeratul ban could have been a Li Ming ban, could have been a lot of other things. Because the Zeratul ban only gets value if you are wanting to pick Tyrael yourself, and then the enemy team will pick the Zeratul against it. But if they're already planning that if Fnatic takes Genji, I guess if Fnatic takes Genji and then they take Tyrael with a global, then Fnatic would last pick Zeratul, and that wouldn't be good, and that's what they're trying to avoid. But then at that point, they could just ban Genji. I mean, maybe the Zeratul pick makes sense, where it forces Fnatic to not pick Genji, and also not pick a global, so that they can take both the globals away. Fnatic can play Tyrael? Okay. I think Fnatic were expecting SPT to pick like Tyrael Genji, and then they would take go global, and then have a good draft. But then I think SPT just really outdrafted Fnatic. SPT knew what Fnatic wanted to pick and denied it. That is what I'm thinking, but maybe I'm wrong. But that's really what I'm thinking here. Like, it's interesting where, like, at this point in the meta, Genji is, like, really reliant on the Tyrael and the Lucio. And if the enemy team has Tyrael and Lucio, Genji just isn't effective anymore. So, SPT already had Lucio, and then maybe they know that Fnatic can't play Tyrael, Genji, Muradin. Maybe that's a thing. And then Fnatic knew they couldn't pick Genji into a Tyrael Lucio, so they had to go with somewhere else with their draft. So they ended up taking Uther with Li Ming, and then holding their last pick to be global, but then they got denied both globals. I mean, we'll see how the game actually plays out. This is all just like seeing what the teams have drafted previously in this tournament, and their previous like playstyles and everything. Seems like SPT actually planned this draft really well. But we'll see. Even if they did win the draft, they also will still be able to lose the game, so. But we saw, it was KSV against Fnatic actually, where KSV just had the two globals, and they didn't get an experience lead out of it, but they got ahead by 2 tributes to 0, and then all it took was 1 teamfight win, and then the game snowballed completely out of control.
3, 2, 1. Well, what are you waiting for?
So SPT is starting in lanes a bit, potentially scouting for some kind of cheese by Fnatic. So Fnatic gets a little bit of siege damage, but nothing important. But Fnatic does get the early wave clear. Looks like the Hawk is going to catch this wave and then dig. See where he digs by its facing when he starts it. Or they can just show it on camera, that works too. But there are the little arrows on the minimap, and then you can see wherever Dahaka's arrow is facing would also tell you where he's digging, even if you don't have direct vision of the hero. So Fnatic gets to set up their lanes how they want to, so they have an Uther defending against a Brightwing Vala, and then it's going to be Leeming Anna pushing against Dahaka, and then Greymane against Lucio is a really, really bad matchup for SPT. So maybe SPT will run into... I don't know why it's not Lucio with the Vala, and then Brightwing, like top maybe, and then Dahaka mid. Like, the idea behind the Brightwing being in the side lane is that she can teleport back and forth between lanes and maintain pressure while the enemy team has to rotate and react. But this is going to put their middle lane in a really bad spot, where now ETC is just going to have to be constantly showing. Though they did get a lot of damage on Greymane, and that's going to also force Meriden to stay in the middle lane as well, so there's not going to be any pressure lost due to this. So Vala is going to outpush Li Ming very heavily. Brightwing also outpushes Ana. And now, because Greymane had to back, this frees up Lucio ETC to get to the top lane first. And this could just be a dead Ana, though it looks like... Oh, they're even TPing in. It got interrupted too. Oh boy, this is just an overchase by SPT. They might live. Okay, that's a nice cube by Mene. But this was just a ridiculous overchase by SPT. Just not good. Basically, the issue is right here. So Dahaka's pushed in, but even at this point, ETC Lucio should say, we're coming up top, we're ganking Ana. And right now, even literally right now, Dahaka needs to be stepping forward. And as soon as ETC enters this bush, he needs to be going forward, because he needs to be able to get in range. Because what ETC should have done too, so Dahaka needs to be getting closer to get in range of this, but what ETC should have done too, he got the dismount on Ana, and he needs to hold his slide until Dahaka can get closer. And he needs to wait for Ana to decide where she is kiting to. Because he slides her here, and suddenly he has body blocks going out this way, and so does Lucio, but she just kites down to where her Meriden and Greymane are coming from. Brightwing tries to TP, she was not expecting to need to TP here, so Uther was able to interrupt it, and suddenly SPT is in an awful position. And what should have happened is ETC holds his slide, they body block Ana very heavily without committing the slide and an ECC, and then Dahaka gets in range to tongue her as Ana kites this way, slide, tongue, dead. But instead, they screwed up very, very badly, and this is going to put them very far behind. And yeah, they also overlapped the ETCW with the Lucio Q. So now, Fnatic's just ahead by an entire level. Tower mid died, due to the bad matchup, Lucio against Greymane mid. And a lot of soak has been missed by SPT too. And Vala needs help on the siege camp. So this is just going to be a free tribute for Fnatic, and now SPT's globals can no longer give them an early lead. They're going to be behind on tributes, they're going to be behind on experience. Brightwing can't do that. There's no way Brightwing's going to be able to stall that successfully without dying, and if she dies, then there's no way SPT can stall anymore anyway. So that was just suicide. That was gaining literally zero value for SPT, that Brightwing death. The only advantage they have at this point is this Siege Giant camp, because Fnatic also had to reset on some heroes after the kills they got. But now Greymane's going to start a Siege Giant camp, and Li Ming should be staying in the bottom lane to defend against SPT. Yes, and with the wall already down, it's harder to get Siege Giant value. Here's a Dahaka dig, they find Uther by himself. This time they're executing it properly, and this is just a free kill on Uther. Good collapse. Uther just too far up, dismounted, auto-attacking minions when ETC and Lucio were missing off of the map. And this will get SPT back in the game decently. Now Vala goes mid, and she might even be able to get push mid or go top and clear out the siege camp. But with her being mid, Li Ming will get some push in the bottom lane as well. Brightwing can face tank some of her spells, but not all of them. Okay. So that Uther kill gets SPT back a little bit in terms of experience. Maybe half a level. And this is a really good tribute spawn for them. It's going to be really hard for Fnatic to stall it. So Fnatic is instead playing for push with the siege camp. But Dahaka just pulls them into forts, and then they die. And then they don't get any value. And now Muriden's not going to get any value either. And now Greymane's coming to top lane. He's not going to be able to do a night camp. SPT was actually scouting that night camp for some reason, even though Greymane was showing top lane. Which is pretty weird. They're trying to dive a Dahaka, who has a Brightwing TP. And even without the Brightwing TP, Dahaka was fine. He had essence and everything, unless he already used it getting poked out by Greymane, but I don't think so. Lucio just kills him. Fnatic just not respecting the Brightwing TP at all, just way over diving that, and giving away more free kills. And SPT might not have enough time to do their own night camp with Vala, but there's no way Fnatic will be able to do theirs. And SPT using their globals well, Brightwing TP'd up, so Dahaka dug bottom. And then they lose no soak, they just get a free kill. And that kill means that Fnatic can't get their night camp while SPT gets theirs. That's really nice. So suddenly Fnatic gives away some pickoffs, and the game is even back up. Though, again, you really want to get your lead before level 10, because once you get level 10, your globals are going to just be weaker in team fights than non-globals. Another pickoff on... Okay. Did Lucio just cross the map for a kill? I think he was like closer to middle lane, but pretty much, yeah. It's not like Lucio is going to push down a fort during that time. Just go get a free kill when the guy's 10% HP from diving a fort. Uther went cleanse again. E-shield, wave of force. This time at least you can interrupt stuff like Emerald Wind or Dahaka Tongue. Ana boost. So SPT also lost this tribute. And now they're starting this boss. And Uther's just respawned and he checks and he sees that the boss... He doesn't get to see the boss's HP, I don't think, but he knows that it is not in where it should be standing if it wasn't being attacked, so he knows that it started. And now he scouts it, and he sees an SPT backs off because they got scouted. But that's fine. Their plan isn't to literally get a free boss, it's to force Fnatic to send all their heroes down to the boss, and then they get free soak with their globals. So now SPT really doesn't want to give away this tribute, because if they do, Fnatic will get all of the forts, and that's not good. Curses are really strong for getting experience. As long as you're not dead. There's some nice burst, but Brightwing gets her E off to give spell armor. The Haka digs in really late. He actually catches Greymane, but then he gets booped away. So I mean, at this point, SPT's committed their globals. At least their Dahaka dig, which is the bigger one. Now they have a stage dive, which misses. Okay. I guess they zoned out. Well, that works. They managed to zone out Fnatic from the tribute, and they get it. I guess Fnatic used Nano Boost earlier. Okay, yeah. Because Nano Boost is the really big team fight cooldown for Fnatic. If they have it up, they're super strong, but if it's down, they're pretty weak. Sleep into Li Ming combo. Nano Boost went down. They split focus though. Oh, some people were calling. So right here, they see ETC. He's too far up. Muradin's gonna jump and stun him, and then Ana's gonna fall up asleep. But then Lucio runs up really, really far and gets Uther stunned. And at this point, Greymane is going for Lucio. He bullets and misses the Lucio, but he's still going on Lucio. But all Li Ming's spells go on the ETC, so neither of them die. And that's a misplay. Should they have given up that trib so easily? I think what happened was they went for this pickoff on ETC, they got a stun on him, but then he got barely saved by a Brightwing E, basically, plus his own armor. And at that point, they committed Nano Boost, and then as soon as SPT started destroying themselves at Fnatic, without Nano Boost, Fnatic does not have enough damage to just not let his SPT throw themselves at them. And ETC and Stage Dive is like a really, really strong zoning tool, where you just Stage Dive in, and if you're a backline of Fnatic, like literally any of these four heroes, other than Muradin, if you get hit by the Stage Dive, big damage, big slow, then follow up slide, and it's a really easy kill for SPT to get. Okay, they get a tongue with the Dahaka dig, but they're just retreating. So that's actually a pretty bad cooldown. Or actually, they got Cleanse, so that's a decent, yeah, that's a good cooldown trade for SPT. Cleanse is on a 90-second cooldown for Uther. Which means that as long as they can get Isolation back up, they'll have a bit of a cooldown advantage here. And there again, Stage Dive, hits the backline, easy slide in. Everyone's zoned back. Everyone just has to run away from the Stage Dive. And again, Fnatic's just going to be zoned out. And they used Nano Boost there too, and they had to use D-Shield to save Ana. That's just ETC being so strong. Like, it's just so hard to stop ETC Stage Dive from zoning you. Because, like, if you're an Ana, you just can't stand there. Even if you literally know if you magically know that your Li Ming is like using script and will wave of force every EDC slide, just the stage dive itself, just that hitting you, doing the damage and slowing you is enough to put you out of position and put you in a dangerous spot. Because stage dive, it slows by 50% for 3 seconds, so that's effectively a 1.5 second route, if you think of it in that way. So now SPT still manages to get the curse, pretty much purely because of EDC stage dive. Literally just EDC stage dives in, and like you can't even turn on the EDC to burst him because he has so much armor. He has this 20 armor and he has so much healing with his level 1 E talent, and he's just not gonna die to Fnatic when they don't have nano boost and don't full burst combo him. So now every single fort dies from the curse, they get out of mercenary camp, and then while all the waves are still pushing in, they're going to start a boss. Exactly according to plan. Fnatic's going to try to get this boss in time, but they're going to sacrifice a lot of minions pushing into their buildings in exchange for that. And it looks like SPT realizes that Fnatic is not defending their base, not clearing out the minion waves, so they just do a night camp instead. And now they're just going to set up, they're going to keep their heroes near Fnatic, but not too close to get picked off, and let their globals constantly just get split soak, get experience, and push, and eventually they'll get another talent tier advantage over Fnatic. And it's not like Fnatic has a Tyrael, so that at level 16 they're just going to win bosses guaranteed. EDC was a little bit slow. He could have interrupted the Murden jump there potentially. But look at that, that was literally every cooldown by Fnatic on EDC, and he was fine. He's just too tanky. That was Murden's jump being caught, and they have to de-shield him. Stage dive gets interrupted. But again, nano boost is down. Fnatic just doesn't have enough damage anymore. Yeah, there's some interesting Uther positioning there. Fnatic does not seem comfortable with this draft. Pretty sure they were planning to take like Brightwing or Dahaka as their last pick, not Ana, but they got stuck with it when SPT denied both of them. And again, the Night Camp's pushing mid. Fnatic, I think they cleared most of it, but it's still going to keep pushing in, get this entire wall. If Fnatic has to, and Fnatic just can't defend it, because if they go defend it, they lose a boss. So now they're deciding with sound barrier down, but Fnatic also has 2 ultimates down themselves, so this is tough. And Fnatic doesn't even do the boss quickly enough. Like they can't contest this. Oh, Brightwing actually has Blink Heal, which is a bit surprising. Instead of Emerald Wind for boss control. So SPT doesn't have boss control either. But there's a stage dive. Breeze is gonna get. Oh, they actually managed to burst him. Okay. How does ETC get bursted there? Something stuns him immediately. So 2 heroes get slept. That's a really big deal. Brightwing's not going to be able to get her E for the spell armor onto the ETC, and the physical armor too. So it looks like he just gets Murden stunned, Uther stunned, heal denied, and he actually dies through everything. Especially because these 2 heroes got slept. Sound barrier is on cooldown, so there's no way to save him. It's actually... Yeah, Brightwing went Blink Heal, which is very surprising to me. Emerald Wind would have just been better for boss point control, I think. And Fnatic, they probably can't do the boss fast enough, but they're just going to go get the tribute, and that'll get them Curse, and that will catch them back up in this game. And they actually get a pick off onto Dahaka. Okay. Well, now SPT is just misplaying. They misplayed the early game and lost out on the early lead they should have gotten from their global advantage. And then... now they're getting picked off really badly. It looks like they do realize that Fnatic is taking their own boss, so they trade bosses. So that's actually really good. And I'm not really sure about this decision by Fnatic to take their own boss. Because there's no way they can take their own boss and get to SPT's boss in time, and trading bosses just doesn't seem like a good trade by Fnatic. Because especially when bosses are off the map, SPT is just free to soak with all of their globals the entire time. I'm not sure. Not totally sure. I guess Fnatic's gonna try and get a keep with this boss. That's their idea. But if they don't defend SPT's boss, that boss will also get a keep. Not sure.
Routine has destroyed the form. Let the curse end until someone wins my favor once more.
Like, this keep is dead. And catapults are going to be a big issue for Fnatic. Are they trying to end the game with this boss? Is that their plan? Do they just feel like their draft is so inferior for playing the map that they have to try and end the game with this boss? Haka just got caught out, so... I mean... that gives them a pretty easy opportunity to do so. Because, like, their core might even take damage from this boss. Ball is clearing out the boss, though. I'm not sure that Fnatic can end here. Yeah. I don't know how Haka died there. I'm not even going to go back. I think he just literally walked in and then burrowed. Okay, the boss doesn't get damaged, but... like, trading keeps for Fnatic is not good, because SPT has 3 globals to defend catapults, and Fnatic has none. I don't know. They have a slight experience lead. Mostly off of the... I don't know. They have no burst heal like Fnatic has? I guess, but Brightwing hasn't even been using Blink Heal to save people when they're getting bursted. Because if you do that, then you might get stuck in the chain CC as well. Like, Brightwing's counter to the burst is her E, with the level, with just the spell armor it gives, plus her level 13 talent giving physical armor. That's where their counter to burst is, not... So I mean, like, at this point in the game, there's no bosses on the map. There's no... both teams are at 0 tributes, so both teams should get level 20 pretty easily here. It shouldn't be possible for any team to really siege into an enemy team's keep. That'd be too far up, be too easy to get flanked, too easy to get engaged on. Teams might still fight over tributes, but... like, I guess SPT feels like they still win tributes just off of, like, stage dive mainly. But they can wait for level 20, because when Vala gets level 20, she's really strong. Same with their other heroes level 20s. Compared to Fnatic, level 20s are pretty weak. Like, Ana level 20 is okay, but Li Ming and Greymane level 20s are both not good. Okay, yeah, they just give it away. They went Blink Heal for escape, but Emerald Wind is an escape too, and it also gives you like boss control, and it does more things overall, I feel like. Like, if you're getting chain CC'd by Fnatic, they're gonna have a Muradin stun, into an Uther stun, into an Ana sleep, into like all of that, and there's no way that you live through all of that CC in the first place. Like, if they do it properly, you're not gonna be able to Blink Heal out. Like, maybe, I guess, he's just scared of like just getting Muradin jump stunned onto and needs to be able to dodge it. Oh, this is a nice spawn for SPT. Odds were in their favor that the tribute spawn on the bottom side of the map, I think. So they've got perfect position around it, and it looks like Fnatic isn't even going to try risking walking all the way across the map from all their heroes being up here through all of this fog and risk getting engaged on and picked off. They're looking for the Haka a bit, but he's playing safe. So both teams are going to get level 20. Fnatic does have a slight experience lead going into 20, but it shouldn't. It might give them like this mid lane wall, but not anything else significant. Oh, the bosses are also respawning. Never mind. Okay, so Fnatic's plan was get the keep and maybe try to end with the first boss, and then they knew that SPT had no tributes, so there was no threat with the second boss, and they're going to try and end the game with this boss before SPT can end the game with their own boss. And they also know that their boss would respawn slightly faster than SPT's. I don't think they could have calculated that they'd be at the level 20 though, because if both teams were level 20, SPT would be able to just send 4 heroes here to defend this while soaking, and split pushing with these catapults. Yeah, Vala's 13 talent. So things that Fnatic would have known, and would have planned for is they knew their boss would respawn faster because they would finish their boss faster than SPT, and they know that if both teams take each boss and just push it down to the enemy team's core, that Fnatic will win in that situation. But I don't think they could have known that they'd have level 20 advantage in this situation, and that could disrupt their plan very severely. And they also knew that there was no objective on the map until the bosses respawned, because there was not enough tributes to spawn.
Or face my curse. We thought this was simple.
So I mean, SPT needs to get level 20, and then they need to defend this boss and not lose their core. But Fnatic does not get too many good talents for going core, other than the Uther respawn. So there's Stage Dive, zone people off, and Lucio's sound barrier's late. But they do get a Li Ming, who got given 50 armor permanently by Anna. And if Vala dies here, this game is over. She doesn't, but they need to defend their core now. Vala can't be hitting the Uther. I mean, it looks like SPG just lost. I don't know. One thing I want to go back to, you guys were saying that like Uther's armor at level 7 got nerfed. But let's just go back to like right here, tiny bit further. So Li Ming is just in a death mosh. There's no way to interrupt a death mosh because it's a ghost, and she's getting focused. But Anna just gives her 50 armor the entire time. Look at how long it takes. Like, Li Ming literally tanked like 10,000 damage during that death mosh, and you guys say 50 armor. Oh no, Uther's armor got nerfed from 75 to 50. It's still a ridiculous amount of armor. It's still way more armor than any basic ability should ever give. Like, Li Ming literally tanked 10,000 damage during this death mosh. Fucking 50 armor is retarded, basically. 50 armor is a stupidly high amount, and that's a big part of why double support is ridiculous. It's because a lot of them just give armor, and when you give armor, you increase the effective health pool, you increase the effective healing that you're giving out to them. So, like, I can understand why you would think that like 10 armor is a small amount, and it's difficult to really see the impact, but at the professional level, you know how much damage you're supposed to be doing, and then if they just randomly have 10 armor, you know you're not doing as much damage as you were expecting to. And you know that they're a lot tankier, even with just 10 armor. So like, 10 armor is a lot. Multiply that by 5, it's infinite amount. Make it 75 armor, the person might as well just be immune to damage. So like, so if Fnatic actually bans ETC here, SPT might first pick Muradin. Yeah, I mean, Dig and Fnatic both look pretty garbage. Dig looked bad against Ballistics, but they looked good against CE. But it was pretty easy to look good against CE when CE was just getting walked over. And Fnatic is just looking awful in this series.
From order comes justice.
So, SBT knows that Fnatic has to take Muradin here. Probably. That's going to leave up a ton of priority picks for them. Maybe they'll run Tassadar Tracer and then even get an Abathur Tracer in there again. Dig had a bad day versus Ballistics. What's the difference between a bad day and playing badly or something? I don't know. Genji Tyrael, okay. So, if SBT wants to get the TAS Tracer, they have to pick Tracer now. If they're okay with, like, TAS Vala, then they don't need to pick it now. They can be fine with Fnatic banning Tracer. But I think they're for sure going to be picking Lucio. And the question is, they might even be okay with TAS Greymane, and then they might even go Lucio Greymane here. They could also go Sonya, but if they want Sonya, they could also leave that for later on. Though they might... Sonya has the higher priority pairing with Tassadar rather than Tracer, so then they might be afraid of Sonya getting banned by Fnatic, and then they might need to pick it now. So it could be Lucio Sonya. Sonya does have some issues against Tyrael though. She just can't deal with the Sanctification. If she gets stuck in a Sanctification, she's just gonna die.
The light abandons
My
no...
blade
Uther Sonya.
falls.
Uther is a bit surprising. With Fnatic potentially changing this ban from Vala to Tracer. I mean, the idea is if they ban Tracer, they're going to pick Vala and leave up Greymane. Whereas if they ban Vala, they're just going to take Greymane. Okay. SPT might have to ban Abathur here, not totally sure. They don't have the Lucio to deal with Genji Dragonblade. So I think 2 Genjis would be too big of an issue for their comp to deal with. And the Nubrak's also banned, so there's not really good tank to counter the Genji anymore. There's no Lucio, they already committed to Uther, and there's no ranged DPS to counter Genji Dragonblade either, so... Like, the only thing they have to answer Dragonblade currently is Tassadar's Shrink Ray at level 13. Yeah, Breeze seems really bad on... not really bad, but like, a lot worse on Muradin compared to, Anubarak and ETC. It just seems like his hero pool is bad right now. Okay, so there's Lucio ban. So that leaves Greymane for Fnatic. That leaves Abathur for Fnatic. They could just go Greymane Monk here, go for Bullet 7-sided strike. That's harder to make work against an Uther who can D-shield it. Ugh. Yorick. Okay. The Leoric pick could be indication for an Abathur last pick. European teams have run that before. where they basically have a Leoric that contests the shrine with some other heroes, and then the rest of his team split pushes. Because in the early game, Leoric with an Abathur hat can be really difficult to deal with on the shrine. He controls the skulls a lot better with the extra AoE damage from the Abathur hat. But this does leave Greymane up for SPD to take. But I guess Fnatic doesn't care if SPD gets Greymane. Not really sure. I'm pretty sure that when I was on Roll20, we played against Dignitas in the group stage of BlizzCon, and they ran Abathur Leoric against us too.
The wait is
Okay.
over.
Cassia will do fine here. There's no CC to stop her trait. And with the Uther and Tassadar, she'll be tanky enough to survive through the Genji spell damage. And once you get past that point, it's really difficult to actually finish her off, if all you have left is physical damage. So, I don't know what Fnatic was planning for the last pick. If it was Greymane, they might need to reconsider it, because... yeah, it's Abathur. Okay. So... and they have a double Genji, and some stuff. They have the split push during the early shrine while Abba Leoric contests it. Abathur Leoric does beat Sonya in that 1v1/2v1 situation, but a Sonya with a Tassadar, I'm not sure. Because I feel like Cassia has really good defense against Siege, especially if she has Splash. So I'm not totally sure if Fnatic's early game strategy will work, or if they'll just lose the shrine to like a Sonya with a Tassadar, and then the other 3 heroes of SPD defending against Fnatic's split push with like a Genji Monk Tyrael split pushing. Fnatic does have like the advantage of knowing where the enemy heroes on SPD are with the Abathur vision, plus they just have much faster rotations, much safer rotations with their mobile heroes. But if SPT gets the right heroes to the right places to get into the right matchups against Fnatic's heroes, I feel like they'll be able to win the early game. What's the deal with Abaleo? It's just in the early game on the shrine, it makes it really difficult to deal with Leoric. The hat gives him enough damage to clear the skulls really fast, and just pushes his survivability over the edge, where like if he's in a 1v1 with a hat, he'll just win every single matchup, and if he's in a 1v2 with the hat, he'll still do fine, and be able to secure a lot of skulls. And then once you get later into the game, he's still a good hat target to just give him the sustain while he's E'ing into the backline, cutting their damage in half, and then it just adds to his sustain, makes him a lot harder to kill still. You still clone the Genji, but then after the clone is down, there's a lot of good hat targets on Fnatic's team though, like all 4 heroes that Fnatic has are good hat targets in later game team fights. The other thing I think, in the early game, if he's not contested, if Leoric has an Abathur hat, he can probably double soak. But normally, you send other heroes to try and push while he is on the shrine. So it would be before the shrine that he could double soak, potentially. And Cassia went Q. I just feel like Q on Cassia, maybe it's better at 16 or something, but until you get to 16, it's just going to be worse than the splash. Okay, so SPD were split in lanes to watch for wherever Fnatic tried to cheese a wall. Fnatic does get to clear mid ahead of SPT, and then rotate to wherever they want to. So they kind of split 2 heroes each lane. Tyrael's going to be stuck bottom lane for now, which means that Fnatic isn't going to be able to continue splitting up with sending 4 heroes mid and then splitting up again. They just get a random pick off on Leoric. Or on Diablo. That's just what SP has to be scared of, because Fnatic can just leave the lanes, even if they haven't finished clearing them, because Abathur will catch all the soak. And now we're going to see Leoric with an Abathur contest Sonya on the shrine, while everyone else is split soak pushing. Sonya actually got a really good steal there. If you watch right here, Leoric Qs, and then takes them all low enough for a W splash to kill them all. And that's a really big misplay by Leoric that loses him 4 skulls. Okay, so it looks like, especially with the early shrine starting badly for Leoric, and now seeing Tasser up there, they're sending Genji up. And now everyone's going up here. What is this, an Arcane Punisher? So Monk is split pushing right now. And it's constantly the Fnatic trying to force SPT to rotate their heroes around the map. And if SPT messes up the rotation or is too slow, then they'll start losing buildings. But it looks like they got the shrine. They haven't lost any soak. They haven't lost any buildings to split push. But they have, well, actually they have lost a decent bit of soak. So they lost a bit of soak when they sent 5 heroes to the top lane, but they saw a lot of heroes with Fnatic up there, so. But they get the Punisher, that'll catch them up, maybe even put them a bit ahead. And then maybe they can start the tempo lead where they start taking 1 siege camp at a time, with all the waves pushed in. Though with Abathur, Fnatic can try and break that tempo a lot more easily. So the entire wall goes down, and SPT is actually staying with this really big minion wave because they saw Genji was really low. And they're gonna force a push. Though they get punished really, really hard. Tassador not have Z? Surprised. But, okay. So they try to push up to the fort with a really big minion wave they had. And with Genji low, but then they just lost basically 3v2 with Fnatic Abathur hat. And now Fnatic's gonna get to set up the tempo lead with the constant 1 camp at a time pressure. Sonya has started this night camp, but it looks like it might have been scouted by an Abathur mine, but Leoric doesn't get there in time. And this night camp does make it hard for Fnatic to keep up that kind of pressure, because if SPT is pushing with their night camp, Fnatic can't just keep taking all of the bottom lane siege camps. But Fnatic already has a really big experience lead off of all the kills and the early soak they got. It was even back up. the Soak Abathur got during the first shrine, but then as soon as when the Punisher got the wall, but then as soon as SPT died trying to push further on, they fell very far behind, and the game could just snowball out of control. Fnatic can play for level 10 on this shrine, and SPT might not be able to clear it quickly enough. Fnatic also saw, I think, all of SPT in the bottom side of the map, so Abathur is up here, even showing his body on this minion wave, because he knows it's safe. And it looks like SPT knows they can't win the shrine before Fnatic gets level 10 and just engages on them, so they just give it away. They get this bottom lane camp, which is nice, but it looks like they're getting picked off with Cassia. Yep. And this could even lead to a top lane push with this Knight camp still. They might even get Leoric or Diablo here if he gets body blocked. No, looks like he's going to be too tanky. It's a nice try for a wall stun. Oh boy. Okay. Leoric actually just died to Sonya. Oh wow. That's very, very bad for Fnatic. Okay, what just happened? So they're trying to chase Diablo. Diablo tries to set up the angle for a wall stun, but it doesn't quite push him far enough. And then I think what Diablo should have done is tried to flip Tyrael like this, so his angle would bring him closer to his well. Because if he gets the well, you saw when he tapped, it literally restored his entire health bar. Like the future regeneration that it would give him. But instead he goes for this, and he barely gets saved by a Tassadar shield. But meanwhile, Leoric is just dying to Sonya. That's really surprising. It looks like, I guess Leoric was expecting to get hat from Abathur, but Abathur was hatting up here the entire time. So right here, Abathur just unhatted, and I guess Leoric right now is calling for the hat, but it ends up coming in too late. No, it ends up getting used on this dive again. So Leoric is expecting to get a hat to help him in this trade against Sonya, but he doesn't get it. And now Monk had 7-sided this entire time? Could he not have used it sooner too? I guess they didn't have any CC and Uther would have tanked it. And they even have Judgment, like, when does he take Judgment? He has it, like, all the way over here. When does he take Judgment? What? He doesn't use it for the Cassia kill, he just rips it. Is this a misclick? Does someone know if this is a misclick Judgment pick? Because this is a cleanse. And this is a Sonya who gets 50% reduced CC duration on her. It's a bit weird. Because normally you want a Sanctification to put your Genji inside of. But Fnatic is actually going to lose everything. They got the pick off on Sonya, and then Leoric got abandoned on the shrine without a hat. And they overchased for a Diablo kill, who tapped and got his entire health bar back. And now Fnatic might lose the shrine. And by might, I mean definitely, because Monk is dead for a very long time. Does someone know if this was a misclick? Seems misclicky. It looks like SPT were thinking about holding the shrine at 39 skulls and going up to clear this Knight camp. Maybe they're doing that with Sonya? Because I saw Cassia was looking to mount up and run up this way, but it looks like they're doing, yeah, they're holding at 39 with a Sonya going top lane to clear out this camp. The fort's already dead. And they finish it. Did they see Genji top lane? I'm not totally sure. I think SPT suspects that Fnatic is in position to defend the Punisher, so they were looking to defend the Knight camp, and now they know that Fnatic has nobody there to defend it. I don't think they've said if it was a misclick or not. So Fnatic was looking for a pick-off if a hero went up here by themselves to clear this, but I guess SPT, I don't think SPT saw any heroes other than Leoric mid, and they just called Fnatic and they said, we know you have heroes up here looking for pickoffs and not here to defend the Punisher. So the Punisher is undefended. That's an Archon Tassadar, you're not going to kill him. So the Punisher gets the entire fort, the entire wall, and pushes up to the keep wall by itself. As long as it's not a frozen Punisher, it can do that. If it was an Arcane Punisher, Fnatic core would be dead, but it wasn't an Arcane Punisher. Yeah, Judgment is very bad when the enemy team already has an Uther, who can take Cleanse, who can take D-Shield, Sonya, who has Wrath, Diablo, who's just too tanky, Tassadar who can dodge it. Like, like. So Fnatic has a 13 advantage still. Abathur keeping them ahead in experience. Plus the Night Camp getting this fort ended up making this trade a bit even. But imagine if Fnatic didn't have this insane throw under this fort, how far ahead they would be. This Night Camp would have still gotten the top fort, they would have gotten the Punisher, which would have gotten the bottom fort, and then with that experience lead, 13 talent tier advantage, they would have gotten the mid fort, and then they would have been up 2 levels, and they would have been able to end the game easily, even with their weird talent picks. And Sonya even takes Spell Shield. Hopefully she knows how to use it. Sonya better know how to use Spell Shield properly, or else I'm going to be very tilted. Same with this Uther. Oh my god, they turned it off. Whoa, did you see that? Let me instant replay. Look at this Uther. Look at this professional Uther play right here. Takes the Spell Shield talent, turns it off. Holy shit, I have never seen that before in this tournament. This is the first time I've seen this play. That is spectacular. That is amazing. That is next level. Holy shit, and they activated it when they were taking heavy damage. Can you believe it? Can you believe how good the talent is when it actually blocks significant damage? On a 30-second cooldown. What a bargain. That's a bit aggressive there, Diablo. You're getting a little bit jebaited. That's gonna need to be... Oh boy. Uther doesn't have D-Shield. I feel like I'd recommend taking D-Shield if you're against Judgment. I feel like you want to D-Shield those things. Well, that Diablo just really wanted that stack on his level 13 quest. It was worth it, for sure. That play. You know, you lose half the shrine, let the Abathur get free soak for the next minute, but you got that stack on your quest, and that's what wins games. That's a bad spell shield right there by Sonya, though. It might have just came off cooldown, though, which is why it got procced instantly. And it looks like Fnatic's just going to win the shrine, even with Leoric dying. If he actually dies here. Okay, there we go. They might even get a second kill. But if they only get Leoric, that's when this is tough. Especially because it's an Arcane Punisher. But for sure, this quest stack right here for Diablo, definitely worth the trade for an Arcane Punisher. You see, this talent lets you kill keeps. This Arcane Punisher will definitely not let Fnatic kill a keep. Definitely not going to be a keep that is dead here to this Arcane Punisher. This completely balanced Punisher. Alright, where are the lasers spawning? There's one on this tower. That tower's dead. There's one in the middle of nowhere. Well, that's not too useful. Oh, here's one. Oh, look at this keep. Look at the keep's health bar just melt. Oh my goodness. And it's going to go around another time. Here it comes. Oh, there's two in the same spot. There's no D-shield for Cassia. I don't know what this D-Storm's supposed to be doing when it's on cooldown. Probably can't really do anything. Oh, the game's done. Well then. See you guys tomorrow. But actually, when you're Diablo, don't throw yourself into a Genji to get a stack. That's ridiculous. Damn. He's gonna respawn though. Maybe he can get a stack. Maybe Fnatic can't end the game here. Oh, here comes. Oh, we got the stack. Look at how much damage that did with that extra stack. I mean, it literally looked like that team fight was basically Fnatic threw themselves at the Cassia, and SPT couldn't save her because they don't have a D-shield. So let's just go back. I want to show that Arcane Punisher getting a ton of value again. Alright. So, Cassia's already dead in this part. It's not where we want to be then. Let's go back a little bit further. One more time. Maybe 2 more times. Maybe a little bit further than this. So here's a Cassia. She gets fully grounded. Punisher jumps on her instead of anything else for whatever reason. Wait, why does the Punisher jump on this Cassia? Oh, I see. It was jumping on like the Uther, but then it aggroed on the Cassia for some reason. But really, what I want to appreciate here is not the Cassia getting absolutely plowed by Punisher and the entire team of Fnatic. I want to really pay attention to these lasers. Look at how much health this keep is just going to lose to these lasers spinning around. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look, there's more lasers. Oh my goodness. I just can't believe this. There's another one! This keep's literally going to lose like a quarter of his HP to just random lasers. That's crazy. I mean, the team fight's lost as soon as Cassia's dead. Like, SPT's not going to be able to win at that point. But these lasers, though. These lasers are insane. Oh my goodness. Look at how many look at this. What do you do if you have to defend against this Punisher? There's like 3 lasers right here just making a wall. Look at this. You stand anywhere in this area, you're just dead. There goes half your HP instantly. Look at this. Fnatic hasn't even touched the keep yet, and it's like halfway dead already. All Punisher. Damn. These lasers, though. Look at this. We can go back one more time. We can look at this tower. Because we can see. Tiny bit more. So this tower is full HP. And here comes the Punisher with its lasers. Oh, yeah. That one didn't hit. Okay. Oh, yeah. There it comes its gigantic fists. Boom. And a laser. And eventually, it's going to get distracted and start pounding Cassia, but the lasers are going to be there and kill this tower. So the tower's at like half HP. Yeah, the tower's at half HP, and the lasers are going to kill this tower. Oh, the tower's at like 1/3 HP. But the lasers are going to be what actually kills the tower. Look at how much damage this laser does. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you know how much health towers have? This is a ton of damage. Imagine if this is a hero standing there, what their health bar looks like. Look at that. That's a hero standing there, it's dead. You know, we can even look at the lasers hitting this Uther or something. Like, look, there's a laser that spawned right underneath his body. Just going right through this Uther. Here comes the death lasers. Not to mention that these lasers are total RNG. Oh look, he got knocked into the laser. Oh no! Oh no, poor Uther. Even with his spell shield on, look how much health he lost. But the fact that these lasers are pure RNG, do so much damage to buildings and heroes, they're just ridiculous. Nerf this Punisher. Yeah. Alright, so GCWC is probably starting in like an hour maybe? Maybe even sooner. The Hearthstone stream has already started. But that's it for me today. I'm not going to watch it, even though it's starting earlier. I'll save it for tomorrow and all that. But that's it for today, I guess. Pretty short today. Pretty stompy games. Pretty... not even close. You can look at the bracket. So tomorrow, or in an hour, not really tomorrow, we're going to see KSV Ballistics, Dig Fnatic. As I said, this is the top 4 of the tournament. Pretty insane prediction right there. But KSV, honestly, probably versus Ballistics with how Fnatic looked in the games versus SPT. They looked like they were losing games to they lost a game to SPT. Series predictions, probably like 3-1, and then I don't know. Both these teams look bad right now, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know with these two. Dig's gonna exploit Fnatic's tank hero pool very heavily, and that'll give them an advantage. But KSV for sure beats Ballistics. Ballistics, like, almost lost to Dig. Which is... So, like, these two teams look really close to each other, and both look pretty sloppy, whereas KSV just pretty handily beat Fnatic. Roll20 lost 3 to SPT? Yeah. I was even, like, saying, like, NA knows how to play Warhead Junction, and then they show up and they do some retarded shit, and then they're like, haha, NA doesn't know how to play Warhead Junction, don't ban it again, it's less than 2018, guys. But actually, I don't have a fucking clue what Roll20 was doing when they drafted. Well, I know most of what they were drafting, but then there was that Artanis pick, and then there was their shot calling and their actual strategy in game on Warhead, and both of those were just not good. And I mean, I kind of could have predicted that to happen, maybe, but I would have expected. Basically, when I was on the team before I was kicked, we were still experimenting. We had like the main strategy we had in Warhead, but then we were looking to ways to improve it or ways to counter it, and we ended up in a weird place, and I didn't like where that place was in terms of the strategy, and I was expecting, or would have expected, that they would have abandoned that where we had ended up when I got kicked from the team for the strategy, because we were not winning games as easily or at all. We were sometimes losing games with the new strategy we were using, but they ended up using it in the tournament and they lost with it, and that's just the issue. Roster Apocalypse lowered the quality of so many teams, yeah. I don't know what's happening with Fnatic. They got a Mene, who's a faker of Europe or some bullshit, and then they got some other guy. I don't know who else they got, but they got rid of those feeders that were on their team before, and then now they're really good, right? So did Roll20, right? Haha. Team's improving after roster changes. But alright, well, that's it for me. Yeah, that was a really short stream. Very, very short. I mean, I'll just see you guys tomorrow. Follow the stream, follow me on Twitter. I put a link to my Twitter below the stream in the description where it talks about the towel on my head. If you have any questions, I'm going to just go to the washroom quickly, and then when I get back, I'll answer any questions, and then the stream's done. So, see you guys tomorrow. What do I think of the roster apocalypse in EU? It seems like Dig has gotten better and Fnatic's gotten worse. I don't know. Mene's hero pool is, it's always been an issue. And it's still an issue on Fnatic, where they are stuck picking stuff like Gul'dan in some maps where are not as favorable for him. I mean, if it's a map that's good for him, then that's fine. And Mene's good at that hero, but it's not like he's so spectacular on heroes like Gul'dan or Kael'thas or any of that stuff that it makes up for times where you have to pick those heroes on maps that are not good for those heroes, or in situations where they're not good for those heroes. For example, back when Mene was on Dignitas and they were against Fnatic, they ended up in a game on Sky Temple in the finals of a tournament. I think it was Mid-Season Brawl, and they picked like Kael'thas, and then Fnatic just farmed Mene on Kael'thas the entire game, and he could do nothing because it was a really bad situation to pick Kael'thas in. It was a bad map to pick him on, and everything. So I don't know. Like, I've heard that he plays the game a ton, so I don't know why his hero pool is so small. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sucks. Alright, that's it for the stream. Oh, how much time did my guys spend together in a week when in Roll 20? If it's outside of a tournament, like just regular scrims, it was 6 to 7 hours a day. And if it was during a tournament, it would just be all day, every day, because we would be in sharing hotel rooms, and then we'd go to the practice area together, we'd eat together, do all the stuff together. But for outside of tournaments, like LANs, we would be 6 hours a day scrimming, plus replays or whatever if we ended up doing stuff like that. But that's it for today. See you guys tomorrow. Start at the same time, like 7 to 7:30 p.m. EST. Follow the Twitch, follow Twitter. I put it below the stream. See you guys.